Do you think your Muslim children here in England have a confused identity? A mommy watching TV is way more dangerous than a child using cell phone. You know what? This is the most commonly used word in Pakistani women in Pakistan. My husband is a narcissist. Moral capital, the intellectual, mental capital, the financial capital, and the fourth is political capital. In charon ke liye high self-esteem ki zarurat hai. Allah's Prophet ﷺ, when he started the mission, he started picking out the right people. How did he pick the right people? But if you're not the alpha, do not get married. Do not have kids. The highest ranked people in Islam are not Badris. Highest ranked people are the people of Uqba. Wherever you go, atheists and Christians and Jews. Atheists, Christians and Jews. Where are the Muslims? Muslims are right here. Let me give you your country's example. You know who's the bottom 2%, Hannah? Who's the bottom 2% of England? It's not just Muslims. It's Pakistani Muslims. The primary reason we all came here to England was to make money. I get it. It's okay. I know how it works. But that's not the reason why you should have kids or raise kids. 200 people combined together in Islamabad doing the same thing are not going to be able to amount to 1 year of your performance. Resources, low self-esteem. This is MBS right here. It is the current Muslim cleric in England and in America who's literally, blatantly saying that there's certain ayahs in the Quran that are not for all Muslims, they're just for the Prophet. So if a Bentley can intimidate you, then I'm sorry. You're not even ready for Buddhism, let alone Islam. That's Pakistan right there for you. Our top Muslim scholars go to the prime ministers and the chief of the army staff, and you know how they stand like? So you need to understand what Islam requires. Islam requires power. I need your kids in your own living rooms or in their own cars, writing on laptops, just pushing keys on laptops, writing foreign policies, changing these chiefs and these little gods by their fingers. University campuses of Harvard and Columbia. In America, Harvard and Columbia, Stanford. Kids, undergrads, chose to go to jail for what? For Palestine. Muslims? No, non-Muslims. I'm as available to Indians as I am to Pakistanis. I'm not a Pakistani first, I'm a Muslim first. There is no, Pakistan or India has absolutely no identity in my heart or my mind. Islam is. Our sons never get the load that they're supposed to carry because their mommies are trying to carry their burden as well. So they become little mama boys. Biologically men, psychologically boys. Man-child disorder, I call it.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا السماء انفطرت وإذا الكواكب انتثرت وإذا البحار فجرت وإذا القبور بعثرت علمت نفس ما قدمت وأخرت يا
Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much, Brother Moiz. That was beautiful. Thank you for warming us up. So today I am honored to introduce Islamic Messaging System, a platform dedicated to reuniting Muslims, developing intellectual strength, and restoring our global influence. Now, we're living in an era where the Muslim Ummah is divided, disengaged, and disempowered. Sahil Adeem has highlighted that our decline is not just political or economic, it's intellectual and moral. IMS is a strategic initiative to rebuild the Muslim identity by focusing on the 4 key capitals, which are moral, mental, financial, and political. The vision of IMS is simple, but it is profound. Bring Muslims back together under one intellectual framework, strengthen the Ummah's understanding of Islam, history, and our global systems, and equip individuals with the skills and knowledge to lead and influence. This isn't just another online discussion group. IMS is a structured system that encourages critical thinking, problem solving, and leadership. IMS focuses on developing 4 essential capitals that are necessary for any powerful civilization. The first one being moral capital. The next slide, please. The first one being moral capital, restoring the ethical and spiritual strength of Muslims, ensuring we uphold truth, justice, and sincerity. So IMS places a strong emphasis on ethical conduct and the promotion of Islamic values by engaging members in discussions and tasks that explore the deeper meanings that are rooted in integrity, compassion, and social responsibility. This moral foundation not only strengthens individuals' character, but also enhances the collective ethical standards of a Muslim community. The second one is mental capital, encouraging intellectual development, critical thinking, and knowledge acquisitions in both Islamic and contemporary fields. Now, this platform is committed to intellectual development and critical thinking. Through its discussion forums and structured tasks, IMS members encourage to delve into various subjects, including biology, astronomy, physics, and all from an Islamic perspective. This approach not only broadens knowledge, but also cultivates atypical skills, enabling members to contribute thoughtfully to both Islamic scholarship and broader societal discourse. Then number 3, we have financial capital, empowering Muslims economically through business, entrepreneurship, and financial literacy is actually rooted in Islamic principles. Whilst IMS primarily focuses on intellectual and moral development, it also acknowledges the importance of economic power. By promoting ethical financial practices and encouraging discussions around Islamic finance, IMS equips its members with knowledge to navigate the current financial systems in a manner that consists with Islamic principles, inshallah. This fosters economic resilience and prosperity within our community, aligning financial activities with moral and ethical standards. And finally, which all the rest of the caveats go into, is our political capital. Now, developing strategic awareness and governance skills is something that Muslims can participate effectively to help shape our society. IMS encourages informed political engagement by fostering awareness of socio-political issues that are affecting Muslims not only in the UK, but globally. Through discussions and collaborative tasks, members are equipped to participate effectively in civic matters, advocate for their rights, and contribute positively towards society, inshallah. This active participation enhances political capital of a Muslim community, and this ensures that our voices are heard with interest and represented on a global scale. Each of these are critical. A nation without mental strength is ignorant, a nation without financial power is dependent, and a nation without political influence is voiceless, and IMS looks to bridge these gaps. There's a quote by Muhammad Abdu, a religious scholar, jurist, and liberal reformer who led the late 19th century movement in Egypt for Muslims in that country and surrounding countries to revitalize Islamic teachings. And he goes on to say, "A nation that does not involve itself in its political affairs will be ruled by those who do not care for its well-being." And I'm sure we can all relate to this to our current situation as an ummah. How does IMS look to achieve these goals?
No, it's all
Now,
right.
IMS UK, this is our progress so far and inshallah our future plans. IMS UK was officially established in September 2024, marking the beginning of our journey in fostering intellectual and spiritual growth. Over the past 6 months, we have undertaken various initiatives aimed at deepening our understanding of Islamic history, identity, and our contemporary challenges. One of our key programs is the Seerah session. It is held every Sunday at 8 p.m. These sessions follow a structured series beginning with the creation of the universe and progressing through a historical timeline. We have now reached the era of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. Rather than merely recounting historical events and sharing stories, we delve into the cultural, political nuances of the current time and the societal context of each period, so we can effectively relate those stories to our current times. We need to focus on the unwavering dedication and the spreading of Allah's message and the profound leadership and courage that is demonstrated through this seerah. So to foster active engagement, we share discussions each week and encourage participants to come prepared, share their insights, contribute their research, and our methodology is a discussion-based methodology rather than a lecture-based methodology. So we believe that meaningful discussions is the essence of growth and understanding. In addition to our Seerah session, we conduct Muslim identity sessions every Tuesday at 8 p.m. These sessions focus on strengthening our foundational knowledge through books that provide a deeper insight into Islam. We have completed Towards Understanding Islam and are currently studying Let Us Be Muslims by Abdul Ala Maududi. Once our foundational knowledge is solidified, our aim is to expand these discussions into the political domain, equipping participants with the tools to analyze and address global challenges. Understand how the world operates is crucial to contributing to effective solutions. The future sessions will focus on books exploring worldviews, geopolitics, and systematic structures. Our vision is to elevate these sessions that explores governance, socio-economic systems, and global affairs, which you would have related to the previous 4 pillars in the previous slide. Another upcoming initiative we have, which we are all very excited about, is the Financial Acumen Program, where we will invite speakers from business sectors all over the world to share real-world case studies to really enhance our financial acumen. This initiative is designed to equip our members with knowledge and inspiration to start their own ventures, fostering economic empowerment within the community and making our ummah independent, inshallah. Additionally, we are launching IMS Kids, an interactive platform where children will engage in discussions and present on various topics and participate in healthy intellectual competitions. Furthermore, we are honored to host sessions by Dr. Najib Ranginwala. He is a psychologist and a psychiatrist. He's a consultant based in Dallas, Texas. His sessions explore Islam through the lens of psychology and psychiatry, offering unique and valuable insights. All recordings for these enlightening discussions are available on our YouTube playlist. Our sister Hafsa has also conducted a remarkable Palestine series, alhamdulillah, providing in-depth analysis and historical context to enhance the understanding of this current ongoing crisis. These sessions are instrumental for us to develop an informed perspective on what is currently going on in Palestine right now. The purpose of our work. At IMS, we recognize that the battle shaping the world today is a battle of narratives. Our mission is to ensure narratives are constructed based on truth, rationality, divine guidance, rather than distortion and bias, which we unfortunately have been a victim of in the past few decades. The overarching goal of IMS is to enhance the intellectual and analytical capabilities of our members, empowering them to play an active role in shaping our discourse for the future. We strive to construct accurate, Quranic-based narratives that align with historical realities and rational thought, which are free from cultural biases. Through our various initiatives, we aim to nurture a community that is intellectually equipped, critically aware, and capable of contributing to meaningful change in the world for the generations to come. Inshallah, with continued dedication, IMS will keep evolving and expanding its reach and have a lasting impact, inshallah ta'ala. So brothers and sisters, this is a call to action. Time for passivity is over. IMS is not just about knowledge, it's about action. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's message is clear. Muslims cannot change their circumstances unless they change themselves. So IMS provides you with the tools for that transformation. So we urge you to join us and become a part of our initiatives. Now I will introduce you to the head of IMS. Sahil Adeem is a renowned Pakistani public speaker, consultant, psychologist, and Islamic preacher. With a background in psychology and behavioral training, he has conducted numerous sessions focused on personal development, leadership, and critical thinking. His dynamic presentation style and profound insights have garnered him a significant following in Pakistan and globally. He started this vision by addressing the lost definitions of Islam, rediscovering what our deen has commanded its followers to do. Islam teaches us to be active participants in this world, and by re-engaging the Muslims with the seerah of our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Sahil Adeem is unearthing a lost sunnah of Muslims who are politically, morally, financially, and intellectually active participants of this ummah. He will now take this stage to continue the session in more details and have a Q&A with you guys, and he can go on to discuss the issues of the Muslim youth today. Thank you.
Yeah, we're good, thanks. We have microphones in the... We have microphones? Okay. This is like a home plate for me, this place. Yeah. Every time I come to England, I have to start from Mayfair, this venue. Yeah. So let's start with the microphones. Yeah, louder? Really? This is good? Okay, let's begin proceedings. Let me start with the purpose of this whole tour. It's called For the Sake of Our Children. This is the third time I'm coming around, and we're trying to change the grammar. I'm hearing my own echo. I am hearing my own echo circles. Yeah, I need to lower the... Yeah? Is it okay? Is this not bothering you, the sound? Am I not too loud? No? No, I'm asking that for. Okay, this is my third round, which means first time when we came around with the Muslim identity. Most people didn't understand what the problem we're trying to solve here. Second time we came around, and we did the global reset. And that also is too technical. This time we were like, you know what, let's just keep it real, keep it easy, for the sake of our children. I hope everyone's going to understand this now. And I want to make you understand this. I want to tell you that you are not the center of the solution of the planet. You are here in England, which is technically the center of the problem of the planet. Now, I'm going to tell you how, and I'm going to make you look at these little babies, these kids, so that you can understand why I keep on coming here, trying to knock at your door. Because I'm not going to give up. Our Prophet ﷺ knocked the door of Abu Jahl 600 times. 600 times. You need to understand persistence. If Allah Azza wa Jalla is testing my persistence, then yeah, we cannot fail. We're going to keep hammering every single parent in every country, especially England, to make sure our kids are rescued from that hybrid identity where we are going to see problems like this. Okay? And I'm going to give you a lot of problems. But before I give you anything, so that you can validate some of, or maybe all of it, I want you guys to start this whole workshop. So microphones, I'm going to ask questions, and please just, I'm going to ask questions. And I need you to just give me whatever answer that you guys have it, okay? So, my first question to everybody here is, do you think your Muslim children here in England have a confused identity going to school? Is that correct? Microphones, please. I don't know why you guys are so shy giving microphones to people. Yes.
Yeah, I have 16 years old son in secondary school, but meeting his GCSEs this year. He is a bit confused. He thinks that he is following the Islamic rules, and he is not getting enough of it because his other friends are not following the Islamic rules, and they treat it as right, and they nurse, and they get into grades, but he is not.
Grades. Like if he were to get good grades, you think he would have had a clean, clear identity? Okay, you know what this is? Forget about the rocket science. What is identity? Do you think it matters? Is it an important thing? What is it? That should be my first question. I'm sorry, I should have started with that. What is the role of the word identity in anyone's life? What is it?
Yeah, that's the question. That's what we need to tell our kids.
Nah, that's what you need to tell me.
Okay, but being a Muslim, he wants something that he's following all the rules, but that doesn't know what to still. Others are going well in the.
What's your name now? Shazia? I'm going to ask you a simple question. What is the role of the word identity in your life? What is it? What is this thing called identity?
Yeah, we say this thing, we follow this.
Shazia, identity hoti kya hai? Like, what does that mean? That's a very bigger word. Personality, that's a bigger word. Identity is a smaller word. Give me the easiest meaning of this word. आप लोगों को शायद समझ नहीं आ रहा मसला कितना बड़ा है इसलिए शायद मेरी गलती है मैं एक्सप्लेन ही नहीं कर सक रहा हूँ. This is the third time everyone in Pakistan is complaining, sir, पाकिस्तान से आप इंग्लैंड जाते हैं हर दफ़ा ये काम करने के लिए आप पाकिस्तान पे काम करें. There are certain things that the English Muslims can do, American Muslims can do, which you cannot. मगर जो मसला England, the problem that you guys inherit when you come here, you need to solve that one problem first. That's the identity crisis. Okay? Who is born here and has kids in this room? A mommy or a daddy who was born here? Nope. Oh, there is one? You are a father. Where's your kids? Where are your children? I want to talk to you today. Baatcheet hogi, okay?
Assalamu
Alaikum salam.
I have one son
Where is he?
with his wife in-laws,
You're with his mother. आप अकेले आए थे?
with my mom.
बच्चे को ले गए. How old is he?
He's 1 year old.
Makes sense. So, you were born here.
Yes.
Where?
The York.
Yorkshire. This is not Yorkshire?
This is
Oh, I thought London is.
no,
Yorkshire is a city?
it's a county.
So London is a city. So London is in which county?
Sorry?
This is, what county am I in right now? What is the name of the county that we are still?
Yorkshire's more rural, much more rural.
Oh, okay. So you went to school in a different place, in Yorkshire?
Yes, I went to school in Yorkshire. I went to 3 different schools, one in Yorkshire, one in London, and one in Luton, where I live now.
Okay. So how old are you?
I'm 37.
37. You have one child? Okay, one child. One wife?
Yes.
Okay. And so okay. And you are from Pakistan or India? When you went to school in these three cities, in Luton, Yorkshire, and
So Yorkshire, London, and Luton, 3 different places.
I thought Yorkshire was a county.
Yeah, Yorkshire is a county.
Why are you naming it like a city?
Because this town that went to, you would have read that.
Yeah, okay. So when you went to school, did anybody in the school think that you do not belong here?
So the first school that I went to in Yorkshire, I was the only Pakistani in the year team. So yeah, I was an outsider in that school.
No, did you get the feeling that you're an outsider?
To be honest,
I need you to think about this. Go back to your school days.
Yeah.
Did you feel that you are an alien in this planet?
Yeah, naturally, to some degree, I did.
Because of the color of your skin? No. That's the problem. That is the problem. Now think about it. If you thought that the color of your skin is the reason why you're an alien here and you do not have your current, there's a confusion in your current identity. No, that's not how it works. Shadi ko chali gayi? What? Yeah, I don't know why you have this apartheid thing going on. Idhar baithna hai, inhone idhar. Identity crisis ki baat ho gayi na, and there's a certain. Okay, now listen, Shazia. You know when the English or the Irish went to America in the beginning, why didn't the English have that problem facing the Red Indians?
Because they're in a position of power, they're innovating.
So we're getting close. So if you were coming from a country or a people who were known for their power, you would not have felt like an alien in Yorkshire. No, I'll tell you. I'm going to quantify this so that this perhaps goes into some definitive underpinning. So that your son, what's his name? Ibrahim does not go through whatever you went through.
He's in Luton, we won't have that problem.
Why, what's in Luton?
Pakistan.
The Luton, is it the teachers are Pakistanis?
I think in my school in Luton, it's probably...
In his class, is there a picture of your king hanging in some classroom? In Luton?
In some classes.
Yeah, so, yeah.
It's very much Pakistani.
King Charles? Now listen, I'm going to explain to you the problems so that you will pay serious attention to this. I'm not here giving you psychology lessons. I'm here for something else. Tell me if any one of you went through this, okay? And your kids. Then we're going to go back to the original question, okay? Varna samajh nahi aayegi. You'll think this is like a regular session. Girls, I want to start with you because you're going to be mommies or maybe you are mommies right now. Is your child or you dependent on what people think? Yeah? Did you wear the clothes today thinking, wahan pe log hone, there are going to be people, I want to seem reasonable in the place I'm going to?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay? Now, it is such a normal thing, right? It is such a normal thing. because everyone's doing it. That's why it's normal. Otherwise, it's a disease. I'll tell you how this disease is going to hurt and suck out the warts, and your child is not going to make it to big businesses, great position at his employment, great fathership or mothership, great friendship. He's not going to be worth anything. And I don't really care about all of these combined. All I care about is if some of this is hurting his Muslim identity, because a Muslim, a performing Muslim Islam requires a performing Muslim to be great at friendship, mothership, fathership, sonship, daughtership. And only a mentally, emotionally healthy person with a true identity can do that. So, if your son or daughter is coming to you, going to school in Luton or whatever English county that he goes to, and he's talking or she's talking about, oh, I'm not going to do this, about my classmates are going to say that, or my friends are going to say that, then we have a very deep problem. This is just another symptom. It is not a cause. And you thought it was an IQ issue that he's not performing well in school? No. It's an emotional issue. And I'm going to go a little more deeper. After these 2 slides, you'll realize the big reason why I'm so serious about this. Yes, sir. What was your name? So Yorkshire. Oh, okay. Why you guys keep, what's with the microphone thing today, right? Khizr. So, did you see this in your elders?
I don't think so. But I do see that, especially with social media now.
You're 37? With social media, it unveiled a lot of people in front of you. Otherwise, it was already there. Most people do this. Did you go through this when you were growing up?
You expand on that, I thought over the years.
Like, I am like this right now. As soon as I go backstage, all of a sudden I'm somebody else. That's not congruent.
Oh, yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah? You're posing wherever you go, you have to pose. Keep changing masks. Yeah?
Not so much as I've gotten older, but when you're younger, you try to fit in.
When was the time when you realized that you're back in your real element, and then now you can be yourself? How old were you?
In my mid to late 20s.
You know what that means? Do you even know what that means? Do you want me to speak Urdu, by the way? I can speak Urdu.
No.
Yeah? Who wants me to speak Urdu? Keep asking me questions, okay? I cannot. You're not enough, I'm sorry. Because आपको तो अंग्रेजी आती है, जिन्होंने हाथ खड़ा किया है, उनको अंग्रेजी आती है. जिन्होंने हाथ नहीं खड़ा किया, उनको उर्दू समझ नहीं आती. That's the problem. So English is a common language. Okay? I'm sorry. I know. ये इतना serious मामला है, मुझे उर्दू में बताना चाहिए. I know. But I'm sorry. I gotta take care of everybody. Okay? See, ये वाला जो जुमला है ना, this line. This is such a rocket science that nobody gets it, even though that's the most basic thing. But this is not trained in Pakistan, India. So let me ask you a question. Somebody with a mic, some girl. Let's see how hardwired we are against this concept. So who has a microphone? Any woman? Okay, now see how she's going to give an answer. See how she's thinking about the answer. Look at the brainwave, okay? What's your name, ma'am? Fatima? When I say Fatima, a distorted or unrealistic perception of Fatima. Who is Fatima? The self. Do you know what that means?
You mean the definition of my name or the definition of what I believe?
No, well, who you are.
Yeah.
Who is Fatima is someone who you actually can track down through your lineage, right? But when I say, do you know who Fatima is? Do you have a perception about your own self?
Well, yeah, I'm a Muslim woman, a part of this ummah.
Yeah, so is everybody else. So what's Fatima there?
So you want me to tell you what I think about myself individually?
Yeah, that's why it's self. Self.
I would say.
ना देख मैं भी आपसे पूछता हूँ असल में पाकिस्तान में ना ये सेल्फ अवेयरनेस की ट्रेनिंग बचपन में नहीं दी जाती तो ये इतना बड़ा कॉन्सेप्ट बन चुका है जैसे कि पता नहीं कौन सी वही रॉकेट साइंस है और कोई फिलोसोफर चाहिए No, this should have been trained to a 10-year-old going into 12, 13, that very technical age. 12 and 13 is the most technical age. That's like a point of no return. So before the 12th year, if you can define that child's identity and make sure you are also living up to those words, then he's going to carry that identity. So some girl, Fatma, you were talking here? Yeah, when you keep on mentioning the word Sira all the time, that word Sira to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that should have transcended at the age of 10. If it fits well, if it's orchestrated well by the parents, that boy or girl is going to carry that momentum of his self and is going to compare himself every single step of the way with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam directly. And as soon as he's going to say, oh, no, I'm not living up to that standard. If I'm not living up to that standard, I'm going to feel like I'm a failure. If I am living up to that standard, I'm going to feel that, you know what? Today was worth being alive. Now, you know what the meaning of this self is? That if you put one of those boys or girls who has structured himself around the Sira inside Yorkshire, or Manchester, or Brighton, or Scotland, or Washington, or New York, and if he sees inside his class in 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th grade something going wrong, you know what he's going to do? He's going to make sure he changes the whole school around what is right. At 6th grade, he's going to do that. In 7th grade, he's going to stand up, he's going to walk to the principal, he's going to get to the cause, and he's not going to give up. He's going to keep doing whatever is supposed to be done. That is the identity demand of being in your own identity. But it has become like, sir, ye kaisi baat hai? What are you talking about? That's impossible. That's the first impression you're getting after listening to what I just told you. So Khidr?
I think it's an unusual level of confidence that we expect from a child.
No. It is the basic expectation of a human being, from a human being. Basic. You know why? Because that's every child trying to do it. Same thing in every one of our homes. We are the one who shut them up. Otherwise, every child is going to challenge his parent for whatever the parent is saying and not doing. Okay? Every child is going to call your bluff. Every child is going to put you under the spotlight. Your own son is going to do that. Unless you're going to slap him out of it. Because then he wants to do that, but he won't do it because he's too afraid. That's the demand of identity. Masla yo, right? We think we need a very big mob and lobby backing me up. That's why I'm going to get confidence. If a lobby is backing me up and that's the source of my confidence, I have not developed my identity yet. I'm a nobody. Yep. That's why it's become such a, oh my God, a shock and awe. So when some child does that, some girl does that, some boy does that, Hamza, could you get somebody to help me get a box of Kleenex? What do you call them? Tissues? Here. Anything, yeah. So, अभी आगे चलते हैं. Let's. Khidr, what is this? Promiscuous behavior?
Unacceptable.
Yeah. Yeah. At what standard? Oh, that's a lot. Gee. Anybody knows what this is? Self-esteem? Heard the word in England? Self-esteem. Self-esteem. Fatima, what is self-esteem?
Lack of confidence.
No. That's self-confidence.
Self-esteem is the notion that you have of yourself and how you implement that.
No, it's not. It is not. Somebody please. मैं आपसे सवाल कर रहा हूँ. आपने पहली दफा क्यों सुना है बड़ी self-esteem? अभी मैं आ रहा हूँ असली मुद्दे पे. 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th slide पे. Don't worry. अभी I just want to see whether if you're going to talk about Islam, Muslim identity, बच्चे confused हैं, सर LGBT बात चल रही है, home schooling का solution बताएं, and Muslim identity कहते हैं, okay, all of that is useless unless you know कि ये real भी है कि नहीं. आपके इंग्लैंड में ये सब मामलात हैं भी कि नहीं? इंग्लैंड क्यों आए थे? I'll tell you what self-esteem is. Microphone किसी और टेबल पे दें. Okay, before I, okay, you have it. We have a microphone. Yeah, okay. I'm going to start asking you questions.
So self-esteem is where we place ourselves in the dominance of the hierarchy.
So, anybody understood what he just said? Show of hands. Who understood what he just said? You understood? There's one guy? Ma'am, you don't understand what he said? Okay. Because that is what self-esteem is. But that's not how I'm going to define it to you. I want to explain this to you, okay? So, what does that mean, sir?
Okay.
Fatima?
कि मैं
Did you get what he said?
Yes.
Okay. जी.
मैं अपने आप को खुद कहाँ देखता हूँ कि मैं okay. जो लोग कभी न डरते हैं उन्हें मैं कहाँ यहाँ को प्लेस करता हूँ ऊपर में नीचे हूँ इसको मैं देख रहा हूँ
कमरे में नहीं.
या क्या मैं कीता
कमरे में नहीं.
उस हिसाब से नहीं कि जहाँ अपने आप को प्लेस कर दो
कमरे में नहीं.
से जाती है बस
आपने कमरे में कर दिया ना तो फिर आइडेंटिटी क्राइसिस में आप. You're comparing yourself with the people around you. Okay? दुनिया में. No. यही तो मसला है. दुनिया में. Okay? पूरी दुनिया में इस वक्त जितने भी आदमी हैं ना उन आदमियों में आपका रैंक क्या है? In terms of morality. In terms of morality. क्या आप दुनिया में सबसे ज़्यादा moral इंसान हैं कि नहीं? What's your name?
My name is Usama Raza.
Usama, are you the most moral man walking on the planet Earth?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
Are you a man who, yeah, do you know the whole scope of morality a man is supposed to be tested upon?
That's a big question. You should stand for that.
That's not what I asked you. So how can somebody know कि morality की demand एक आदमी के ऊपर क्या है? What's the source of information there?
The Prophet.
Yeah, that's the epitome of morality, not just the source. What is the source that you have? Come on.
Quran.
Yeah, what's going on with the microphone here? Yeah, so आपको आसान करके बताता हूँ. You know, I'm forced to speak Urdu right now because I'm getting a feeling that you guys are not going to understand this because you're not giving me that acknowledgement. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying here, that I as a man cannot have any self-esteem. Cannot. unless I am not given all of the requirements of being a man. Because my natural self knows that there are some requirements. What's your name, sir? Yeah, that's a boy, that's a kid. What's his name? Isaiah. Oh, yeah, Isaiah. Okay, how old are you?
12.
12. By 12, no, even when 8, by 8, a boy or a girl knows that there are some requirements, there have to be some requirements. Okay, it's called fitra. Every human being knows that there are some requirements. I don't know who came up with that or where they're written, but there are some requirements. This feeling is every human being's natural disposition. It's called empathy, by the way. Okay? That's how we get it. But unless somebody keeps telling us this is 100 things that you have to do, and this is 200 things that you can never ever do. This is called morality. And this is the source of all of this list. And this is the training manual of how to get these 100 things done. Unless somebody gives them to you over your course of the next 12 years, you will have no self-esteem. I'm just talking morality here. Self-esteem has a lot more things than just morality. But this was basic parenting. So what did we do as boys and girls? Because our mommies and daddies were not giving me that 100 list or 120 things which are called morality. So what I did was I went to Yorkshire. I went to my next mate sitting with me, and I said, dude, listen to me. What do you think? Am I going to make it to your football team this Saturday? Do you accept me? He says, yes. That means I have some worth. This is how we started to define worth, because people started, because we didn't know how to fill those gaps. Mommy was supposed to do that, daddy was supposed to do that. So, who became my counselor, psychologist, and chief psychiatric HOD? A 7-year-old boy sitting with me, happened to sit with me. I could have been sitting anywhere else. That was a stroke of luck that some boy had to sit with me in my class. He became my chief consultant. Of what? Whether I'm going to have a happy marriage, whether I'm going to ever commit suicide, whether I'm going to run away from my home, whether I'm going to mistreat my women in my mother, my sister, my wife, my daughters. I'm going to treat women as commodities or real human beings. You know who's calling the shots? A 7, 8-year-old boy sitting with me in my class. That's why we need self-esteem coming from the house. Otherwise, these kind of consultants going to give them to my kids, and they're going to do whatever they're going to do based on the definitions of the group, the class, the boys. And all the boys know that we did a lot of things in school because the boys had to be boys. Otherwise, we wouldn't have made it to the group. We would not have made it to the football team or the cricket team or some club, somewhere. We had to live up to those standards. Those standards define my self-esteem. This is the meaning of identity crisis, as this is an indicator of whether your son or daughter has identity crisis. Let me give you a little news flash here. American Muslims, Canadian Muslims, Spanish, German, Australian Muslims, I'm talking about Pakistanis, okay, or Indians. Muslims migrated to these countries, and not just Pakistanis or Indians, but since you guys are Pakistani Indians, that's why I'm going to narrow the strata down. I'm coming to you, don't worry, I'm coming to you. The way Pakistanis have invented, our boys in school have invented crimes nobody else did. The English Muslims took the crown. You guys came up with the kind of drugs that were unprecedented, the kind of crimes that were unprecedented. You know what age? 15, 16, 17. And those are not like, those Al-Qaeda terrorism kind of crimes. No. Petty crimes in school. You know why they're doing it? Because we let our child be parented by a 7 or 8-year-old classmate out there. Yes, ma'am.
सर मैं ये बताना थी कि ऐसी इस एजुकेशन का वहाँ पे तो बच्चे पेरेंट्स बहुत ही सर्विस का मतलब नहीं जानते और ना ही पेरेंट्स के लिए कोई सर्विस टीम है और ऐसा लग रहा है कि जैसे इन्वेस्टमेंट फर्स्ट जनरेशन
या ऐसे ही लगना चाहिए, ऐसे ही हो रहा है।
सो इस चेन को तोड़ के आगे कैसे जाएंगे?
जो इस वक्त जिंदा लोग हैं ना, उनकी डेफिनेशन ठीक कर दें। जब उनके बच्चे होंगे तो ठीक होंगे। या सो शादी से पहले आदमी की सेल्फ एस्टीम चेक कर लेना। आप शादीशुदा है? ओके, मेक श्योर यू मैरी ए मैन हु इज वेल ग्राउंडेड इन दिस, morally grounded, spiritually aligned, enlightened and philosophically aligned with you. These 3 things. And you can easily check that. But you know how? Check where he spends his time and check where he spends his money. That's it. Men are very easy to do your MRI. It's the girls that we cannot just detect because, of obvious reasons. So time and money, wherever I'm spending and how I'm spending it, you're going to check my philosophy, my psychology, and most of all, my sociology. Okay? Now, read all of these. I don't want to spend 3 hours on the slide here. See if your child or yourself have gone through any of these. Did you understand these 2 statements? Can anyone understand these? ऐसा तो नहीं है ये आपको समझ ही नहीं आ रहा क्या लिखा हुआ है? Okay, let me start asking questions again. I don't know. Yes, sir.
A Muslim is a believer of Allah and over 200 community.
And what?
A Muslim is a believer of Allah and a 200 community.
And the 200 kings of what?
Communities.
Oh. What's your name? What's your name? Ariba. And how old are you?
7.
You're 7. Okay, mashallah. Okay. So I have a question for parents. Parents. Which parent had a microphone? Yeah. इधर ही देते, कोई बात नहीं। रीबा ने मरवा दिया। जी. Sir, did you migrate here or were you born here? You migrated? From where? Okay. So you migrated here. So keep this. Okay. So there are certain things only an immigrant's child. The child who was born here, but his folks were immigrants, like Khidr. Your parents migrated, right? Yeah. So you migrated. So your kids, are they born here?
Yeah.
All of them are born here? Okay. So your kids are naturally going to go through things which most of England is not going to go through. Only your kids are going to go through this. Or anyone who fits the bill. So I can't even see it. I'm so close. Can you read this? Okay. So, क्या नाम है आपका? नियाज. Do you know what identity crisis is? उसका एक नुकसान बताएं. Tell me one problem. Lack of confidence. Yes, that's one. Lack of confidence का एक नुकसान बताएं. नहीं, वो उससे पीछे है. उसके आगे बढ़ाए.
Not able to speak for yourself.
Yes, there you go. Cannot perform, right? In school, in college, university, cannot perform. Hence low grades, hence sense of failure and everything. फिर उसका नुकसान बताएं?
Not able to achieve your full.
Yeah, cannot get proper employment, career, job, cannot hold your job for long enough. Yeah. And what's the problem in that? उसका नुकसान बताएं?
Not performing fully, raising children.
या शादी तो होनी नहीं आपकी, शादी तो कोई करेगी नहीं आपसे फिर, या कोई करेगा नहीं, या अगर कर भी तो बेचारी वो भी गई साथ ही, या
अगर कर लेंगे then so if you take it out on that person.
there you go, yeah, then you're going to start bashing each other out even though problem 4 degree पीछे है, और इधर बीवी माँ और बहन की और भाइयों की आपस में लड़ाई हो रही है और पिटाई भी हो रही है, लिटरली हरासमेंट, बुलिंग, लिटरली असॉल्ट हो रहा है, कॉज क्या हो रहा है पीछे से? Identity shutter will be. You see the problem? You see how big this issue is? Yeah, this is just domestic. अभी मैंने जो सारा ट्रैक बताया, it is just domestic. You know what that means, domestic, right? That is something we can't even see. It is your personal matter. Your societal matter is where you're actually a real cancer then. That's why Muslims are not performing. That's why Shehbaz Sharif goes to America or England and he's, bowing himself down. Or Nawaz Sharif or Imran Khan or whatever, it doesn't matter who. Because हमारा 4 degree murder हुआ पीछे. And you know who's doing it? Niaz, you're doing it to Ariba. And you're the only person who can fix it for Ariba. No one else is going to come and fix it. Because no one is qualified to fix it. Secondly, even if I am qualified, I do not have the access of Ariba. Only you have the access of Ariba. Your wife has the access. Where is the wife? Yeah, so you can either break her or make her. So either you are the problem or you are the solution. So if she is not solving, Ariba is not solving England's big problem, then you are the problem. And what's your name? So Kinza is the problem then. So we were supposed to raise solutions in English schools, change the whole system. Instead, our kids started to think, oh my God, we are inferior. These guys are white folks, superior. We have to abide by those rules, otherwise we will be outcasted, even though what kind of a school can deport a child back to a country? No school can do that, right? No school. उर्दू में पूछता हूँ, let me ask you in उर्दू, इंग्लैंड का कोई एक स्कूल ऐसा तो नहीं है जो आपके बच्चे को पाकिस्तान, इंडिया डिपोर्ट कर सके? नहीं है ना ऐसा? I swear to God, right now, I'm telling you this right now, feeling आप वही दे रहे हो उसको. That's why it's the immigrant's child disorder. That's why it's called. Because you don't break the law here because you don't want to be deported. Even though that is a real thing. That can happen. But your school cannot deport your child. But your child is behaving just like that in school. Do you see the problem? I'll tell you the problem is. Now this child will never perform in school and he's going to think that just being accepted by the group of whoever they are, doesn't matter who they are. If they're white folks, awesome. If they're not, he's going to make a gang of his own brown folks. And that gang is not going to teach them Islam. That gang is going to teach them helium and math and exploitation of little girls in school. So this is called the acute identity crisis. Acute means it happens so fast, so sudden, and you can't see it, you cannot detect it. So what can we do about this? What can we do? Does anyone have any idea about what to do about this? Microphones. अब ऐसा करते हैं, idea ना बताएं. I don't want to put you on the spot. Give me 2 problems which you think your kids are saying to you in your dinner tables. इंग्लैंड में रह के बच्चे आपको प्रॉब्लम बता रहे हैं, बाहर निकल के वापस आते हैं घर पे. They say this is a problem going on. Give me any one problem. Let me write them down right here. Yeah.
My girl usually say that all of her classmates have phones, although she's only 10 years or 8 years old. Although she's not asking me to have a phone, but she's telling me there's a problem that all the girls are having smartphones with them. So I think it's a big problem.
How old is she?
She's 11.
The school lets 11-year-old kids use cell phones?
Yes, they not inside the school, but they permit them to have the phones and they can tape the phones like at the time of break or at the time in the end of the school they can have access to the phone.
What do you think is the problem there? Why can't an 11-year-old child have a smartphone?
Because they can't control and there's so much in the phone and they need parents' guidance for that.
Yeah. Do you all agree? 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old should not have a smartphone, right? You all agree to that?
I do.
Of course. You're the one who came up with the problem. You can't disagree with that. Tell me why. Why can't a 14-year-old have a smartphone?
Listen, you're getting access. The whole world will have that access to your child. That's why.
Okay. So why is the difference between that and library?
Well, in library, we use the books. I'm on that.
Okay.
Mobile.
A park. A football game.
Well, there's a way of activity going on. Okay.
But the world has an access to your child.
It's still kind of related because parents are there or some.
Parents are never there in the football. What? Okay, forget about football game. You send a child to school full of kids who can say anything to your child. Is that not dangerous?
It is in a way, but they will come back on parents.
So with the cell phone, aren't they not going to tell you what are they looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, there's a problem which is real and there's a problem which is plastic. You made a real problem into a plastic issue and a plastic problem into a real issue. So if your 14-year-old son or daughter does not have a smartphone, there should be a very legit reason behind this. 14-year-old human beings have absolutely the same right to have a smartphone as an 18-year-old. What's the difference between a 14-year-old and an 18-year-old? Just tell me that.
They're a bit mature.
Bit? What is that bit? What is the meaning of that bit?
More mature.
More. What is the meaning of that more? What can an 18-year-old do?
They can control themselves when a small child. Could they?
Small? No, I'm talking about 14.
14 is not small, I'm talking about 11.
No, I'm talking about 14.
14-year-old, I don't mind to have a smartphone.
13?
Still no.
No?
14 or 15.
So no 13. So how are you making these decisions here? You know your kids are thinking about this every single day. You know how they're doing it? They're planning. मैं 12 की हो जाऊंगी तो अम्मी मुझे ये दे देगी 13 की हो जाऊंगी तो अम्मी ये there are allowance lists going on. They're taking it real seriously and you're not living up to your commitments to them because of the fears that they're brewing inside them. Because that we watch TV, we see a lot of ill and evil and we want to save our kids from that ill and evil, right? And that fear we transfer to our kids. So this is what's going on here. I'll tell you. Because smartphone is a very good example. There's a room in which my kids are going to go to anyway. This room has walls which has a tendency to catch fire. And there are a lot of people who are going to play with a lot of matchboxes and lighters and whatnot. And my kids need to cross that room anyway. They need to cross that room. So what am I going to do as a parent?
In a wartime, we're going to teach them.
Yeah, what else? What's your name?
Asma.
Asma?
Asma.
Asma? Is there a difference?
Yes.
Yeah. Finally. So if your kid has to walk a path where there is imminent danger, would you want to save him or not? So how do you save a child from an imminent danger?
Tell them how to save themselves.
Yeah. Instead of stopping them to walk the path, you train them how to walk the path, right?
But for every age there is
Yeah.
something. For example, you cannot give a 1-year-old.
I'll tell you, psychologically, I'll tell you. I know what you mean. Everybody says, हम सब यही सोचते हैं, फिक्र नहीं करें. A mommy watching TV is way more dangerous than a child using cell phone. Asma, you watch TV in front of your kids?
No, we watch together whatever is appropriate with them.
I get it. So a television inside the living room with kids of 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is way more dangerous for his identity than you handing a cell phone to that child. Because you recognize that this is legit. You understand me?
No, but at that time I'm monitoring them and I'm watching some suitable content.
Like what? Like what? Like what?
Maybe a program.
That's it?
Any more things.
Like what?
We watched geography channels. We watched my husband watches art programs. Anything which is interested, so they're more fun for us. We watch together. You just bit appropriate because they cannot shun them for.
I want to hear the end of this statement. This is a statement which every parent says using because we cannot stop them because
They need some fun.
and they'll feel left out because what kind of fun?
They might needed them watch Disney movie.
There you go. So it's not just Sahil Adeem. Yeah. All right. Listen, I'm going to be very honest with you, okay? I have 4 kids, 3 daughters and a son, okay? My youngest is 8. I've gone through whatever you're going through. And all I used to think about was, do the numbers, do the statistics. I'm a freak. My wife used to go through crazy episodes of dealing with me. So obviously, you can imagine, what my kids would be going through. But the numbers are very clear. The science is clear. Islam is very, very clear. When there was no cell phone, they were better friends. They were healthier people. There were bigger examples, way more number of examples of good leaders inside homes and in the world. So we did something with this technology that is lowering the IQ, breaking my relationships, lowering my emotional health. It's common sense. That is the danger. Okay, cell phone is not the danger. Television is not the danger. This is the real danger. That I will not be able to perform as a friend of anyone, as a husband of anyone, as a father of anyone. I will be the most unreliable person because I'm emotionally damaged, because I'm psychologically not structured, because my physiology was corrupted with these little things. This is a very simple waterfall. I'm telling you this right now, hum sab bimar ho chuke hue hain. We are all sick people from the inside because of this technology. I'll give you an example. Okay? Do not beat your children after you hear this. So, the fact that what is a narcissist? What is a narcissist? मैं वो ज़बान इस्तेमाल करता हूँ ना जो कि ज़रा दिमाग की उस नस पे जाके लगे. I want you to go home today and your life to be changed, inshallah. What is a narcissist? What is narcissism?
I would find self-obsession.
Say what now?
Self-obsession.
Self-obsession.
Obsessed with yourself. Only hearing about.
I get every word except that one word. What's that word? With the
Obsession.
oh. No, that's not a narcissist. Who knows what a narcissist is? Yes.
Person who is so full of trouble.
No, that's the opposite of narcissist. That is the exact opposite of narcissist. Okay? Think, you know what? This is the most commonly used word in Pakistani women in Pakistan. My husband is a narcissist. You know, like, okay, did you test him? Yeah. And yes.
Is it someone who enjoys someone else's like pain?
No, that's a sadist. No, you cannot just fluke it out. If you know it, if you don't know it, it's all right. I'll tell you what it is. Okay? Yes, sir.
Someone who thinks he's always right.
That's the exact opposite of a narcissist. Okay? Yeah. Yahi to masla hai. Now see, that's the problem. That's why I'm in some other planet, you guys are in some other planet when I'm talking about these slides.
A narcissist is a person who is looking at what others think of himself.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, as a narcissist, someone who thinks everyone else is wrong and he's wrong.
Where are you? No, sir. That's the exact opposite. Why would you say that? I'm just telling you that's the exact opposite.
I think someone who thinks is the most important.
Is the most what?
Important in everything.
Everyone is keep on saying the same statement. That is the exact opposite of a narcissist.
So he thinks that he's a lesson for.
No, not even close. But yeah, at least better than the last state. Let me tell you, okay, I'm not going to waste much time. I'm going to take a break for 10 minutes at 5:30. Please remind me. Somebody, 5:30, okay? Make me stop, maybe. 5:30. Okay, a narcissist is a person who hates himself. Okay? Understand how this body works. इसीलिए तो आप लोगों को शायद मेरी तकलीफ का अंदाज़ा नहीं हो रहा जो मुझे आपके बच्चों को देख के हो रही है. ए नार्सिसिस्ट की आइडेंटिटी क्राइसिस हो चुकी होती है और उसका सेल्फ बिलीफ शैटर हो चुका होता है और वो उसके अंदर वैक्यूम्स आ जाते हैं. मैं ये भी नहीं कर सकता, मैं इस काबिल भी नहीं हूँ, मैं ये भी नहीं करूँगा या करूँगी तो फेल हो जाऊँगी. और अपने वैक्यूम बचपन से that age. And those vacuums become little puddles. And anything that's going to go through them is going to splatter every single memory that they have. A memory from little childhood, okay? So what does the narcissist do? He starts hating because he hates himself. He hates this, that, this, then that about himself. So anything that reminds, and anyone that reminds him of that category, he attacks that person. Okay? That's why narcissists attack, because they get reminded of the vacuums that they know that they have. They hate themselves so much that they attack the person who gives any sign of that reminder. That's what a narcissist is. Okay? At one point, there's a narcissist. On the other side of the graph, there's that guy who's obsessed with himself. That's the exact opposite. The Quran talks about that guy as Fir'aun. He's so obsessed. He's a bigot. He thinks everything is under him. That's not what a narcissist is. Narcissist is so low in confidence that he becomes a bully. He hates himself so much that he looks at the weaker person, attacks him. Weaker person. That's what a narcissist is. Fir'aun doesn't do that. Fir'aun challenges the world. He's an absolute center of, arrogance. So you need to understand, where is my, let me show you. You get the big idea, right? So where does narcissism come from? Comes from broken identity. Where does broken identity come from? It comes from mommy and daddy. And how do mommies and daddies break the identity? Because they're afraid, Asma. They're afraid. They're too afraid. If your 14-year-old son or daughter cannot handle a simple thing as a smartphone, which does not have actual hands to make your child push buttons, then it is your fault. You cannot train him to fight this. How are you going to train her to fight the real enemies, the real animals in the planet? Cannot hide your kids away from trouble. Train them to fight that trouble. You need to understand how parenting basics are missing from because, we are taught the exact opposite meanings of things. We think narcissist is something who loves himself. Imagine how wrong we could be, because everything else is going to become a trigger point. What are you going to do? Because if you think narcissist is that, which of course you thought, so what you're going to do is you're going to start praising the child. And you're going to keep boasting in ego. If, you don't want to give him vacuums. Or agar aap samjhenge, narcissist to self-obsessed hota hai. So what you're going to do is, you're going to stop motivating that child and suck the self-worth out of him. Because you don't want that narcissist. So what women are doing, they're reacting against their husband's narcissism and trying to make adjustments in their sons, which never had any narcissism. You understand the problem here? Asma, let me give you an example. You have a son? Imagine you had a son. And imagine your son's name is Ali. Ali, and imagine you had a very narcissistic husband. Okay? Okay, you know what? Let's not start there. Let's start with you. You're the source of the problem, okay? Imagine. So, you pamper this child into Firaun, or you make those kind of mistakes and leave so many vacuums in your parenting that this Ali wants to fulfill the meaning of his identity and self through whatever it means that, we all did in school and whatever. Either of these two scenarios, your mistake. Now this Ali, in scenario A at the Firaun, is going to grow up and he's going to devastate and bulldoze his wife and kids and, whatever. Or he becomes a narcissist and he bullies and assaults everybody, especially his wife and kids, because we can assault our wives because they're weaker than us. We never assault men of might because they're going to beat the hell out of us. So a narcissist attacks the weaker party. Now, Ali is assaulting his wife. His wife is going to react against Ali, which is going to be your daughter-in-law, and going to make sure that Ali's son, your grandson, does not become Ali. And she's going to reverse the cycle from narcissism into Firaun. That's why you see polar Muslims. You see the big problem here? And I'm just talking about your domestic issues. Global issues, political issues, financial, business leadership. Kisi bhi kaam ke nahi hai. We're of no use in any of these core capital which Fatma was mentioning. The moral capital, the intellectual, mental capital, the financial capital, and the fourth is political capital. In charon ke liye high self-esteem ki zarurat hai. You need the best, peak, top of the peak self-esteem for these four capitals. You cannot be morally correct, morally grounded if you do not have any self-esteem. How are you going to do that? You're going to see evil in front of you. You cannot be able to stop it because, well, how can I stop it? It takes a lot of courage to stop it, and I do not have courage. Courage comes from self-esteem. I am never going to perform in school, hence I'm going to think I'm a failure. I'm never going to perform in maths or physics or biology or whatnot. And I'm going to keep myself on the low key all the time, never going to make it to the right college, university, and my IQ is going to go lower and lower compared to my classmates. And then by the time I need to perform, I won't be able to do that because I have not developed myself. Hence, I'm not going to get the right career. Hence, no money. Self-esteem was lowered in the house. It will maintain its low altitude the rest of his life. He will have justification. पैसे तो अल्लाह की तरफ से आते हैं, मुझे नहीं मिल रहे तो फिर मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ? और बच्चा ठीक है, पैसे तो नहीं मिले तुझे, रेस कम मिला हुआ है, तो ये बता, ये मुफ्त का आपने लोगों को अपने सर के ऊपर से गुजारने का ये भी अल्लाह ने दिया था कि जिसके पास बड़ा घर और गाड़ी है उसको तू ऐसे करके देखे और उसकी हर बात मान के उसको फॉलो करना शुरू कर दे. Now, you need to understand why I said when Fatima says Sira, understand what Sira means. Okay? Let me give you, I'm going to go through this after, if I can get the chance. Let me give you, this is, come on. Allah's Prophet ﷺ, when he started the mission, he started picking out the right people. How did he pick the right people? Somebody please give me any example which you can think of. How was Prophet ﷺ picking his people? Yes. Give her the mic. Here. How is he picking the people? वो माइक पीछे ही रखना. This is a very interesting and important discussion.
Yeah, Prophet said Sahaba according to their...
Sahaba, no, whoa. They know Sahabi. He's the first man. How is he going to pick people? Listen. How did he pick Musab bin Umair?
Because we know what is his rank in his wife.
What does that mean?
Because you know the word Musab bin Umair.
How does that? What does that mean? Words. How did he know that?
Because what is his dominance of hierarchy in this tribe? That's why he know this Mali and the Tomi in the back place.
Yes, ma'am. How do you know that? There are 200 people here. How do I know which man has high self-esteem, which has low? How? They're going to do whatever I tell them to do. They're never going to do that. But they can only answer some questions I have. So I'm going to interview them. They're not going to do anything. So I cannot test it. I can assess it, not test it. Assess it through answers they're going to give me. Not test them through things that they're going to do for me. No, nobody's going to do anything for me. They're strangers. So how did he assess people? Because he assessed people. He only picked people who had developed their self-esteem. Yes, that's my Qudrat. Now imagine the Prophet ﷺ comes in our time.
On the basis of their courage, like earlier Sahaba, earlier people had more courage to accept Islam and Prophet countries.
Give me 3 examples.
Like
What courage did he show?
Because he had courage in front of all the people of Makkah. He accepted that Islam.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
He didn't?
Yeah, it was kept in secrecy. Nobody knew Abu Bakr Siddiq.
Is it that?
Okay, 1.
Yeah.
I said 3.
Okay. And other than how did he believe that he was later? He was later.
Prophet ﷺ did not pick Khalid bin Walid. Khalid bin Walid picked the Prophet ﷺ. I'm asking a simple question. The Prophet ﷺ picked people. How did he pick people?
So I think he picked people based on if they were leaders of their tribe, like Sa'd bin Mu'az and Umar ibn Khattab.
Umar Khattab was not a leader of a tribe.
No, like thought leaders in their tribe, like people, like their roles where they shape our thinking or working.
Okay, that's close enough, both of you. Yes?
No, yes, sir. I would like to get back to this question that at the first uh, ayah that the Prophet got, he straight went to him, his wife, Khadijah. So it was one of the selection he did.
No, he didn't. He was married already.
He thought she's worth telling.
Yes, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. This is one we clear.
At that point, okay, because, yeah, you're right. With Hazrat Khatija, she already had that. She probably had the most self-esteem in the world at that time. So, yeah, okay. But she was his wife.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm talking about picking people from strangers.
Well, the second example I can give of is Hazrat Bilal, that he selected him for the azan, getting azan, the first azan. So he did find some work in it.
You didn't understand. मैं आपसे पूछता हूँ मुसलमान करने के लिए जब सेलेक्ट कर रहे थे वो बताएं.
For that, I can give an example of Hazrat Umar.
Hazrat Umar, Allah के नबी सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम did not pick Hazrat Umar. Hazrat Umar picked Prophet सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम.
Well, he did make dua for them.
Yeah. But didn't go to him, right?
Well, that's
Okay, I'll take Hazrat Umar. I'll take him. Give me two more.
Abu Jabal.
Yeah, okay, one more.
I think the message was general for everyone.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
It was given to everyone.
No, it wasn't.
Then he cannot be a prophet. Because the message was for everyone till the last man come to this earth.
Okay. No, I know. We all know that. That's why you're all Muslim, right? He didn't start the process like this. Islam was kept in secrecy in the first few months, if not years. Did you not know that? Islam was kept in secrecy till Umar al-Khattab comes in. So it was not for everyone yet. Okay? But he was picking some people. What was he looking for?
I think he was picking people on the basis of their personality analysis.
Yeah, what was that?
When he sent someone to Medina, I think it was Uqbi incident, Uqbi Sahabi.
So he picked Hazrat Usman instead of Hazrat Uqbi because he was this man and he was good in negotiation.
No, not why, because he couldn't negotiation. Because Uthman bin Affan had a way higher rank in Banu Umayyah than Umar al-Khattab, who was also from Banu Umayyah's lower rank. Okay? That's how it works. Yeah. So you need to understand how these things work. So if you look at Prince Williams sitting here, that's his name, right? Williams or William? With a William. Prince William. I don't know why I call it Williams. Prince William sitting here, he doesn't have to show that he's a prince. He's going to carry himself like he's a prince. He doesn't have to say, you know what, you see me? You see me? You recognize me? Do you feel good that I'm with you? No, it's not going to be like this. What is the other prince? Harry, right? Prince Harry. He's going to carry himself the way, without even anybody else trying to validate that princehood, nor do you think Prince Harry has an internal demand that everyone should think that he's a prince? Why does he not have that demand? Why?
Because he was already raised into it.
Yes, he's raised into the priesthood. So, Allah Azza wa Jal, make sure you understand the pattern of Allah Azza wa Jal. Sunnah of Allah Azza wa Jal is that when He puts a prophet, He puts a prophet in the family which already has the highest self-esteem. They give it to the prophet to save time. Literally. So Musa alayhi salam is born in Bani Israel, but they are enslaved at that time. So Allah does what? Allah gets Musa out of the slaves and puts him inside the king. And he's raised as a prince. This is how important self-esteem is for performance. You want to perform, you want to do anything, you got to have your self-esteem. Once Abu Bakr Siddiq is escorting, at that time, everyone is, now the mission is public, right? So Prophet ﷺ is being escorted by Abu Bakr Siddiq. Abu Bakr Siddiq is a guy who knows people, okay? There's a certain knowledge, there's a certain study that people do. Somebody was telling me, Akil was telling me that in England, the black cab, you cannot just drive a black cab, right? You gotta know, you gotta know everything to be that kind of cab driver. Just like the Abu Bakr Siddiq was the guy who knew people. There's a certain science about this. He knew the lineage of everybody. Okay? So he used to escort the Prophet ﷺ when the delegates used to come for Hajj. So Prophet ﷺ did not miss that opportunity, did not want to miss that opportunity. So all those delegates of those tribes, our Prophet ﷺ used to go to the head of that tribe and deliver the message. But we had to scout the head of the tribe, right? Because there are so many people. So the first question Abu Bakr Siddiq used to ask was, who is this tribe? Where are you from? What part of the tribe is this clan belong to? Does this clan belong to? And if I'm talking to the clan head, does he represent the tribal head as, is he the head of the tribe as well? Or is he close to being the head? These are the 5 questions Abu Bakr Siddiq used to ask. And once the guy comes in for the interview, they used to ask the same questions from Abu Bakr Siddiq. Who are you? What clan are you from? Does that clan belong to the head of the tribe? And if you are from that clan, are you the head of the tribe? Same thing, because only a head can speak with a head. That's how they're going to take this message seriously. So once Abu Bakr Siddiq comes up in front of a guy, and this guy is from X and X tribe, so this guy said, Abu Bakr Siddiq said, are you the head of the tribe? Or the shoulder of the tribe? Or the pelvis of the tribe? Or the foot of the tribe? And the guy says, I am from the head of my tribe. Which tribe are you from? Abu Bakr Siddiq says, I am from Quraysh. And he says, are you from the head of the Quraysh? Or the shoulder of the Quraysh? Or the foot of the Quraysh? The Abu Bakr Siddiq says, yes, I am from the shoulder of the Quraysh. And the guy says, then how dare you speak to the head of my tribe? We want to speak to the head of the Quraysh. And Prophet ﷺ intervened and says, do not worry, the head of Quraysh is right here. And then he says, okay, you are from the head of the Quraysh. Which clan are you from? And the Prophet ﷺ said, I am from Hashim, which is the head of Quraysh. And he said, okay, you are from Hashim. What part of Hashim are you from? And he said, I am the son of Abdul Muttalib, the head of Hashim. And then the guy says, okay, now you can talk. You know what that means? That means that Allah Azza wa Jalla is telling us, Susira, that our kids, if they're not performing in their own matrices, they won't be able to carry themselves. And that's what you call confidence. You thought just loving them is going to give them confidence? No, making them perform is going to give them confidence. If they're not going to perform, they're not going to get that internal rank. That internal rank is called self-esteem. That's why I need you to understand how important today's gathering is. My team was like, sir, let's talk about homeschooling in London. We're going to launch homeschooling, inshallah, for England kids only. Right now, it's going to go global, inshallah, because we have the curriculum ready, we got the teachers ready, we are hiring everybody. And I was like, okay, homeschooling is not a product, it's a solution of a problem. Well, unless you guys know the problem, you won't be able to understand the solution. This is the hierarchy that that boy mentioned. This is the hierarchy of dominance. That dominance is the alpha. That's what the guy asked the Prophet ﷺ, are you the alpha of Quraysh? That you ask me, an alpha of my tribe. Only an alpha of your tribe can now talk to an alpha of my tribe. Okay? This is the definition of self-esteem. Now you tell me, I'm going to put you all through a test today on camera. I'm not going to ask you personal questions. Do your own evaluation yourself. I'm going to just ask you general questions so that everybody can put themselves in that spot. So the periphery of reference that we are all Pakistanis is either education, money, political influence, which is power, okay? Power. So in these three realms, do you think, sir, I do not answer, okay? I'm not going to take any answers. Just a question so that you can take. Do you think that you are in that degree where you are the alpha in the resource, education, IQ, or influence in your own circles? Are you the alpha? Ma'am, are you the alpha in any of these 3 or 4 realms? Are you? Or do you know someone who is going to supersede you in this? Ma'am, are you the alpha? Sir, do you think? So, this is a general question. Whoever thinks he is the alpha of either of these 3 or of all of these 3, please raise your hands. In your own circles. No, you're not. Money, education, which means IQ, I'm the smartest man or the woman in my circle, or influence, I'm the most influential person in my circle. What's your name, kiddo? My partner in podcast.
Hannah.
Hannah? Are you the smartest kid in school?
Not really.
Yeah, so you got a problem to solve there. Who's your mommy? Yeah, you have a problem to solve here. Because she thinks she's somewhere here. Are you close to somewhere here, Hannah? Or here?
I'm in the middle.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, we can raise it up. You need to understand she's a girl. Girls change their chemistry based on the alpha. Men do that too, but we can see it in girls. You put 10 girls in one room, every girl changes her menstruation cycle based on the alpha of the room. Did you know that? That's the concept of self-esteem and alpha. Men do that too, but we don't menstruate. So what we do? We bully. You want to check who's the alpha in girls? Put them in a room for 10 days, you'll find out. You want to see who's the alpha in the room? Put 10 men in one room for 10 minutes. You're going to find out. No, I need a break for my prayer. I need to go pray, yeah. Okay. So, Hannah, if you're not the smartest, then either you got to be the most influential, because you don't have to be the smartest person in the room to make decisions. You need to know how to be the most emotionally correct person, because by the end of the day, we don't need the smartest people. We need the most competent people. Okay? And competence it's an amazing asset to have IQ. Okay? It's probably the biggest risk of Allah. But if you not have the highest IQ, it's okay. Competence is not only dependent on IQ. A lot of competent people are not the smartest people. You get that? So if you're confident, you're good. High self-esteem, you could be the alpha. But if you're not the alpha, do not get married. Do not have kids. You need to understand, we need high self-esteem women and men in Islam. We need Mus'ab bin Umair. Why do you think Mus'ab bin Umair came to Uqba? Why did Sa'd bin Mu'az came to Uqba? You know who the people of Uqba are? You know who the people of Badr are? What is Badr? Anybody? Hana? Have you heard the word Ghazwa Badr?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is the first fight the Muslims fought, okay? With the Prophet ﷺ leading the clan, and they fought against the kuffar. Abu Jahl was killed in that, okay? This is registered as the highest ranked Muslims. Those 300 people, 313 to be exact, they're given the highest rank. That if you want to see the best of the best people, those are the people of Badr who fought in Badr. And the Badri people knew that Badr people are not as high in rank. High in rank. Okay? The highest ranked people in Islam are not Badris. Highest ranked people are the people of Uqba, the Uqbi Sahaba. You know who those people are? They never fought. They fought, but Uqba is not a fight. Uqba is an allegiance, a treaty. Well, not a treaty, but an allegiance. What is Uqba? Who came to Uqba? The leaders of Medina. The financial leaders, the political leaders, and most of all, thank you. Most of all, these leaders. So Hannah, make sure you understand, I need to read your articles in America and Pakistan. I don't know what topic, but they better make sense. And it does not take rocket science brains to write an article, right? So in less, how are you? You're 12, 10? You're 14? Okay. So in about 5 years or less, we all need to read your articles or your book. Because unless you write, you're not going to raise your ranks inside your self-esteem. Because I know the age you're going to go into when you're going to be 19. Okay? You need to know this is basic. You're not going to be extraordinary. You're just going to be ordinary. But if you don't do that, you're not going to be ordinary. You're going to be right here, right here. And that's going to hurt everyone around you, especially your friends and your kids. You understand me? So what do you need to do? You need to take a subject, whatever subject you like, and you make sure you spend so much time in there that no one in the world, this planet Earth, can surprise you from that book. That's it. You need to know everything around that subject. That's it. It's going to take maybe 10 years, maybe less, maybe more. But unless you start it right now, you won't be able. Otherwise, these 10 years, it can be 50, can be 60. Okay? You need to understand, I need my daughter, her name is Kirat, she's 8. I need her to have a role model. You understand me? That's how important you are. If you don't perform, she cannot perform looking at me. I'm a man. She needs a girl of her age. Right behind her, right. You're like 7, 8 years. You're 14, she's 8. You're 6 years ahead. Same age, same kind of problem you're going to see in the planet Earth. I'll be dead. You guys will be mighty women fighting for Islam, inshallah. How are you going to do that? With your brain power, with your psychological strength, with your emotional strength. So unless you know how it works, you won't be able to do that. I'm sorry. And you're 14, you're in England. 14-year-old girls in Pakistan can't even fathom anything I'm saying right now. And I don't blame them. They're kept like this. Your daddy and mommy brought you to England, put you to school. They drove a cab, or I don't know what they did. Blood, sweat, and tears went to putting you to school and making sure that you do not underperform now, okay? There's a lot of expectation right now on you, and I'm purposely doing that. Not just her, obviously. Every child, every parent knows what I'm talking about. We didn't come here so that, we raise our own copies. We wanted to come to England so that, they become way more competent than us. And I need your kids to be competent. Unless you give them that esteem right now, they will just become another replica, another copy, even worse than what we turn into. So this is, Hannah, this is what I'm trying to tell you. That's your career. If I read your book in America or Canada or Pakistan, you have a career. I don't care how much money you made or not. You know Alexander Fleming? Heard the nerd? Who came up with penicillin, right? Yeah. You know Friedrich Nietzsche? You'll read about him. Don't worry. The most influential man in the last 100 years. He wrote a book, one book. Was not even published in his own time. His sister published it when he died. You know how much money he had? He owed $91,000. He had zero money. He used to loan and borrow from friends and, never return. Did he have a career? Everyone in England, in Europe, everyone in America is influenced directly by that guy. Fleming died in the lab. No money. Michael Faraday, your countryman. How much money do you have? Zero. James Maxwell. So money you do not need enough money to get your self-esteem up. Okay? You need competence. You understand me? So, if you want to chase the money ladder, and you better become the richest woman on the planet. Because it requires what? Use the microphone. Say that word to me. What does it require to become the richest woman in the planet? Competence. Okay? Same thing. Competence. We need financial leaders as well. We need them. And collecting all of them from all over the world. Whoever is performing in business, I'm connecting you with some other guy who's performing well in business. So that all of them can combine, join forces, and become way more powerful. It takes a lot of competence to make a lot of money. You understand me? So you want to choose whatever, but you got to choose this path that unless I'm making sense, I'm not going to make any book or money or friend. Okay? So you got to learn how to make sense. So why am I telling you this? Because everywhere I'm going right now, America, Scandinavia, Canada, Pakistan, UAE, my God, UAE, my God, Australia, Indonesia. I see the hierarchy of dominance. You spread it out by religion, the lowest of the lowest will become Muslims. Anywhere you go, the lowest part of the demographic, wherever you go, atheists and Christians and Jews, atheists, Christians and Jews. Where are the Muslims? Muslims are right here. Why? Let me give you your country's example. You know who's the bottom 2%, Hannah? Who's the bottom 2% of England?
I'm not sure.
I'll tell you, I'm sure. Google it up right now. Google it up right now. Bottom 2% of England. Hannah, you know what? I'll save you some time. It's not just Muslims. It's Pakistani Muslims. And you think our kids are going to have confidence, self-esteem, self-worth, performance? Hannah, you're going to have to change that. Inshallah. No, I need you to change that. Hannah, this is very personal for me. Because you're a girl. I have 3 girls. I need a role model. 50% of all Muslims are girls. And we have 0 role models. So, bottom 2% of England, bottom 2% of America, bottom 2% of Canada, bottom 5% of Australia, bottom 10% of Europe, Pakistani Muslims. Pakistani Muslims. What happened? What happens is the word, not what happened. this happens. This is why I need you to understand the immigrant's child. Your kids, like Hannah, what's your mommy's name? Sobia, you and Hannah are going to start to distance themselves. The delta is going to go bigger and bigger. Okay? She is not going to tell you. She's going to pose really well in front of you. But she will have a totally different circle in England and a totally different Hannah gets to see that circle, and a totally different Hannah lives inside the house. Okay? She's really good at keeping those two profiles. Clark Kent and Superman. You know who Clark Kent is, right, Hannah? Yeah. Amazing. Friedrich Nietzsche? No. Clark Kent, yes. So, distance their true self from their own parents. सोबिया आप पाकिस्तान से खुद माइग्रेट करके आई हैं या आपकी अम्मी आई थी?
मेरे आपको नहीं शादी के बाद.
Oh, so you're the immigrant. You're the immigrant. She was born here. Yeah. So this is it? Isaiah? You're 12? Where are you from? Right here? Yeah. Where your father? You're the father? You're a local here? Where did you migrate from?
Pakistan.
You're Pakistan. And 3 kids? 4? 4 kids? 3 boys. 3 boys. So you migrated and they were born here. Okay? England is the only country where we have 4th generation English, Pakistanis. Great grandfather came in way before Pakistan. Okay? And now, but you know, most of us are 2nd generation. You're the 1st generation English, okay? Isaiah? You're 1st generation English. Okay? So, this is what's going to happen. What's your name, sir? Shajil? Shajil? Distance between you and Isaiah. Okay, interesting name you picked from the Bible, eh? Critically low threshold of success and failures. Why? Why do immigrant children have very low thresholds of success and failures? Why? Because they instantly know that they're better than their folks inside this current bracket that they're in. That's it. सारे थ्रेशोल्ड अपने माँ बाप से ले लेते हैं खैर छठी पढ़ गया मेरा बाप तो 5वीं भी नहीं पढ़ा अंग्रेजी तो बोलता हूँ मेरे बाप को तो अंग्रेजी भी नहीं आती. He thinks that's the element of success. This is what you cannot give your own sons as, you know, gift from your... This boy should be looking up to you as the most competent father in the planet. How am I going to live up to these expectations? That's the pressure you need to be putting him under. So Isaiah, you play cricket? Bat or ball? So what's your high score? You're not sure of your own highest score? Really? You never forget your score, man.
Give me back the bowling.
Score. Can you score when you're boy?
Swipe.
Oh, really? So that's a good performance. That's your best. That's really good, bud. 5 wickets for 1 run. Yeah. Please don't tell me you're a spin bowler. You're a fast bowler?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice, nice. So, do you know the best thing about your father? Do you like anything about your father?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it? Do you like your father?
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough. I'm not going to ask any more questions. That's enough. Okay, so Sobia, Hannah, you get that? You get the point? Now, see, Sobia, Pakistanis and Indian women have this certain tendency. You know what they do? That's something nobody else does, by the way. They start competing with their own kids. Safak Zalim Khawateen. And you know what the worst part is? They don't stop there. As soon as they know that their kid is outperforming in, but because when you were that age, you're not that kind of a performer, all of a sudden you start lowering your self-esteem. That is such a big curse of an immigrant inside England. You are going to go through your own kind of identity crisis because of your own kids. So you make sure you understand how important this disorder is. This is an immigrant child. Immigrant's child. Psychology. So, first generation probability, very high. Second generation probability, higher than that, of all of these things to happen. Third generation probability, very low. How does that work? ये कैसे होता है? This is Sobia. Okay? This is Hannah. This is Hannah's kid. Why is she not going to get all of these problems? Hannah? Yeah, it's okay. The best answer when you don't know the answer is, I don't know the answer. Okay? That takes a lot of self-esteem to say that. I do not know the answer. Okay? The day you're going to say it very calmly and composed, that means you've developed yourself. Okay? You do not have to know all the answers of the world. You just have to know how to say that I do not know the answer. Okay? So, this is how it works. पहली जनरेशन की ख़वातीन और मर्द, उनके बच्चे जब पैदा होते हैं, ये इतना बड़ा मसला होता है उनको, जैसे अभी सोबिया को आएगा, आ भी रहा होगा। सोबिया के बच्चे के जब बच्चे होने, उन या फिर सोबिया अगर इंग्लैंड में पैदा हुई होती, if like Khidr was born in England, so this is Khidr, first generation Khidr, his kid. Okay, sorry, yeah, you were born in England, right? Your daddy was not born in England. Okay, so you're practically Hannah. So, you're 20 years older than Hannah, yes. So, your kids are not going to go through this because you will not have those kind of performance issues in society, in the psychology. And your kids are going to get a lot more composed of father. You're going to be very sure of yourself. Even though you're going to be a lot more English and a lot less Pakistani, but it doesn't matter because then you'll have made a decision. You're not an immigrant. You're a natural. They were naturalized here. You're a natural Englishman. You get that? So you do not have that kind of problem to give as inheritance to your kid, which you got, by the way. Because your father was still struggling for his English identity here. And maybe he still is. We never know. Okay, Khidr? You get that? So, judging their parents. So, Sobia, ab tak khana ne shuru kar diya hoga. She's 14. She's judging you for your lack of performances here, there, anywhere in your domestic and your family. Does he do that? Sometimes. Doesn't matter. It cannot happen. It shouldn't happen. Okay? But it is going to happen. It is going to happen. Because that is how it works. And then Hannah is going to be over empathetic. You know what over empathy is? What is empathy? By the way, the one word, उर्दू में इसका मतलब ही कोई नहीं. इसका एक लफ्ज़ हमने नहीं बनाया. हम ऐसे ही कोई जालिम कौम हो. We never came up with the word for empathy.
Empathy covers a little.
No, it doesn't. It just has one thing. Come on.
Yeah. It goes a lot of videos. I can't explain.
And your daughter does not watch any more videos. She still knows what empathy is. Give her the mic. Look what England has taught her. So, Hannah, what is empathy?
When I think of empathy, I think of like sympathy.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
It's not. That's not what empathy is. What is empathy, sir? What has England taught you? Yes, sir. Not understanding, experiencing. Okay? Experiencing somebody else's pain. So put yourself in somebody else's shoes, Hannah. Put yourself in somebody's shoes. See what he's going through. Imagine what he's going through. Experience what he's going through. Good or bad. Could be anything. That's empathy, okay? Sympathy is not that. Sympathy is to feel bad about somebody that I was gifted and he wasn't. So I'm going to give some of my gift to him. Could be anything. So Hannah is going to be over empathetic. And you know what happens to over empathetic people? Anybody? What happens to apathetic people? Pakistan happens to उन लोगों के साथ who do not have any empathy और जिनके पास कुछ ज़्यादा ही empathy हो उनके साथ क्या होता है उनके साथ उनके सारे के सारे सर्कल वाले उनको misuse करते हैं everybody misuses them okay that's the curse so make sure she's treated really well so what are they going to do they're going to do all of this I'm not going to go in detail of all of this why am I telling you all of this is listen guys Muslims everywhere okay where's this oh come on here we go Muslims everywhere you see England is just another case study Muslims in Pakistan are like that as well but of course in Pakistan or Arab or North Africa here too you're going to find Muslims right but that's not why you need to understand that is not the doing of the Muslims it is the doing of the place somebody has to be on the top okay so let's compare Arabian Muslims Arabian top of the hierarchy of intellectuals African top of the hierarchy of intellectuals and money leaders and political leaders versus the world so when you combine that when you combine the top of the top leaders of everybody guess where the Muslims go right back on the bottom so here is MBS here is Urtagan you understand me? Here is Mahathir Mohamad, right here. This is where the Mia Manshas and Malik Riyad are inside the global index. Do you see the problem now? That's why I said if only English Muslims can change the power in Pakistan and India. English, you can do that right now through Hannahs and through Isaiahs. Only if you want to. Otherwise, she can also become another girl who's going to try and find another guy to live on some benefit and some welfare. Yeah, that's also a lifestyle. But then you wouldn't have been in this room for this session, wouldn't you? Would you? You're here because you want to do something. You're here because you know that you're going to be questioned one day. You're here, you know that there is no chance that in the day of judgment, you're going to get respect because you were not respected on planet Earth. I'm going to repeat that. Hannah, Isaiah, on the day of judgment, you're not going to be respected because you were not respected on planet Earth. Let me put it right here. On the day of judgment, you're not going to have a self-esteem because you had low self-esteem on this planet. उर्दू में बताता हूँ, जरा लगेगी से आखिरत में इसलिए आपको इज्जत नहीं मिलनी क्योंकि दुनिया में बेइज्जत मरें आखिरत में भी उन्हीं को इज्जत मिलनी है जिनको दुनिया में अल्लाह ताला ने मुसलमान इस्लाम में इज्जत दी थी. Did you know that? You need to understand, did you know that? If you have a Muslim self-esteem and you performed, only then you're going to get self-esteem in Akhirah. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِكُمْ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. I am not going to bestow anything upon you unless you bestow it upon your own selves first. I'm not going to change you. Allah has never changed people unless they change themselves. I'm not going to put angels on you. You're going to raise yourself up there. So that's why on camera I'm telling this homeschooling thing is not a parallel study which is going to counter or be another one of the education systems. This homeschooling thing is a solution to the problem here. This is the problem. Coming from every side of your frames of references, redefining your careers, making sure that we all love Allama Iqbal. We all adhere to his teachings. We love Muhammad Ali Jinnah. We just think it's the best thing that ever happened to that region. What, they're rich people? No, they're not. Well, even if they were, we don't know them because of their money. We know them because of their things that they had nothing to do with money. Iqbal was not even rich. Jinnah still was a rich family. You need to understand, you guys like Imran Khan, he's not known because he had money. He's known because, first of all, he performed in some sport, cricket, and then he started performing in challenging the status quo. You like him, not because of money. So don't give me that excuse. That, oh, paise hote sir, to phir hum kar, ye nakhre wali baatein hai, paison walon ki baatein. No, it's not. This has nothing to do with money. This has everything to do with parenting and upbringing. No boy is alive on this planet who is under 12 and he loves his father, loves him. Because, I love my father because he's a rich man. Human beings don't think like this. Boys love their fathers because of whatever they're doing as a father. Boys love their mothers because of whatever they're doing as mothers. Not because of, what kind of ranking they have in front of, what kind of bank accounts they have. So I know the primary reason you guys came here, I know that. Everybody knows that. We all move around this world. The primary reason we all came here to England was to make money. I get it. It's okay. I know how it works. But that's not the reason why you should have kids or raise kids. You did the hard job. You got here. I get it. But your kids should become from people or resources to people of knowledge. And that's where the self-esteem should come from. And as soon, yes sir, and as soon as you're going to have that, exact time of time.
Nowadays autism is on a rise. So many kids after 2020, every family is going through speech delay or autism or this kind of problems. One of my podcasts, I heard that you said we are here on a test, but at Ahde Alas, some people decided to go to Jannah without going through the test. Were you referring to the people who are differently abled or mentally challenged, and what there is so much scattered knowledge available here regarding autism and people with special needs. So where can we get help if we have a kid who's going through that? And because one kid has autism, the other one, if we have more kids, they get ignored because we need more time to spend with people with autism.
So, and
that other child might have a low self-esteem because of that. And
Yeah.
what is the solution? What can we do to rectify it?
Well, a sibling of an autistic child will not have lower self-esteem because of lack of, attention that you're giving him. Okay? There's a natural order at play here. A sick child in a family heals everybody else. Okay? There's a natural order. An autistic child's mother is healthier than other mothers. You need to understand. That's the phenomenon, Allah Azza wa Jal. That's the power of oxytocin. Okay? And hence, they will have a lot better, because if you care for your sick sibling, you're going to have a lot more perspective. And you're going to be a very different person than other people in your school at that age. So if I had a sick brother or a sister, I would have been a way better person than I am today. You need to understand. That's the power of empathy. That's the power of oxytocin. So my esteem would have been higher. So it doesn't lower that self-esteem. It actually raises it. But obviously, that's not all it is, right? I still have to perform. Just because I have a sick brother or a sister doesn't mean I'm going to be leader of the world. I still have to learn and go through all of this. Okay? But just to answer your question, just because you have one autistic child doesn't mean the esteem of the rest of the kids is going to go low. It's going to go high. You still have to do whatever you got to do to structure it and resurrect it. Okay? About autism, though, your question is not about the siblings. Your question is about the autistic child. Well, depending on the kind of placement on the band the autistic child is, I'll tell you this right now. There's so much that, because, again, we're from Pakistan or India, we're not trained into looking at this. England is trained into looking at autism really well. So they're going to push the lower number of the band back to the normal schools, normality. And he's going to train, the autistic child is going to train himself or herself into performance. Dependent on exceptional cases where he's on the extreme of the spectrum, that's not just autism. That's a lot of the problems. Yeah. And may Allah have mercy on all those parents who have, that is a direct ticket to Jannah. Direct ticket to Jannah for the parents. So that's a gift, Allah's gift. Once you're all going to be dead in less than 50 years, not our kids though, I'm not going to survive for more than that. Most probably, Wallahu. So that's it. But that time, on the Day of Judgment, these autistic children will be a source of envy for everybody else. You understand me? So whoever has those kind of kids, right now I know you're going to go through a lot of them. But you know what? That's the easiest patient to attend to, because that's your own. That's your own. And I know it's not easy, but it is still the easiest patient to attend to. And you would expect nothing less than if you had some problem and your son would treat you. So it's not such a... okay. But I hope you read about autism and you see the placement on the spectrum of where children could be. Most of these placements can be turned back into, they can live very normal lives. Very normal lives. Okay? वो उधर है मुझे वुज़ू करना
Grab the mics from you. And that one.
So when Allah says to be grateful, He means that you are conscious that this heartbeat, that next heartbeat, I'm conscious that it's a gift. I'm conscious, so I'm not going to waste it. I'm conscious that every breath is a gift. If I'm not conscious, I'm going to waste. I'm not going to value it by not doing what I'm supposed to do, the most important things that I'm supposed to deem more important, and I want to spend time on it because I have limited number of heartbeats and breaths. But if I'm not conscious that all of this gift this 180 liter every day of blood being purified by my kidneys. At 86,000 beats every day of my heart. More than 5 billion neurons firing every single second in my brain. More than 540 megapixel of my camera, which was gifted by Allah Azza. 540 megapixel. I got it for free. All of us. All of them are synced together. And still science doesn't know what is the meaning of soul. You know? So when Allah says be great, be conscious that all this machine is at work. Listen, you guys have IKEA here, right? IKEA, the furniture. Have you ever ordered a lot of IKEA? Yeah? Now then, if you had ordered a lot of IKEA, then you had to assemble it, right? You had to assemble it by hand. When you have ordered IKEA, and then you assemble it, and then you go in your own living room, every day you realize, oh my God, so much effort was put into this living room. Since we got this body, this whole life, and this whole mechanism, this phenomena for free, we're not being ungrateful. That's why Allah says, man has turned out to be very ungrateful. Even though we gave him the brain to be conscious of what we gave him. Okay? So it's, अभी तो मैं आपकी मौजूदों पे आया भी नहीं हूँ जो इससे बहुत बड़ी. I haven't begun to speak about the real big things. I'm just talking about whatever you have already. So be grateful means do not waste it. Put it to the best possible use. If you're not going to put it to the best possible use for the betterment of every single, most amount of people in the world, then you're being ungrateful. It is that simple. That's why prophets rose to the level where they rose, because they put everything to the best possible use. They were not unconscious or subconscious. They were very conscious of what's going on. And every human being can be, because that's a commandment. It's not an exception that prophets did it. No, it's a rule that prophets did it. Okay? So if you, उर्दू में बताता हूँ, अगर आपने हर वो लम्हा कॉन्शियसनेस के ऊपर ना गुजारने की कोशिश की कि आपको मिल क्या गया अल्लाह की तरफ से, ये इतने बड़े मौजज़े जो आपके साथ रोज़ हो रहे हैं, इतने बड़े मौजज़े, अगर आप एक सेकंड के लिए उस कॉन्शियसनेस के अंदर एंटर नहीं होते, तब तक आप रियलाइज़ नहीं कर सकते कि आपने असल में करना क्या है इस पूरे जिस्म, इस जान, इस ज़िंदगी के साथ, इस ख़ानदान के साथ जो अल्लाह ने दी थी. Okay? Are you married? Okay. Once you're going to become a father, you'll understand the depth of what I'm trying to tell you. Because when you look at your own child, you look at the miracle human life with absolutely nothing. I mean, no human being goes to the kitchen and creates a recipe for children, right? The way they're going to look and act, the way they're going to behave, the way I'm going to experience my own child. Look at that beautiful child, mashallah. This is my 99% of my day should be spent on being conscious of did I deserve this? What did I do to earn this? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I got the biggest gift in the world. You know, if human beings had the ability to create kids by going to the kitchen and cooking human beings up, we would all have mutants. We would all have ugly, decapitated, human-like creatures. Even the rocket scientists and the chemists and the biologists would have mutants with 3 eyes and bald kids and 4 legs and 2 legs and I don't know what not. Look at the perfection going on with absolutely nothing that human beings did. And look at the arrogance that I have. When I talk to my younger human beings, I tell them, I demean them, that you're lower than me and I am higher than you. That's what Allah is saying in the Quran, that you have the audacity to claim ownership of this. This. What did you do to have this? Just for 1 minute, think that you had to go to the kitchen and create your own offsprings. Imagine the planet at that time. That's when you're going to realize the beauty of our kids, the beauty of Allah's miracle. Let me take one question per person. I'm going to come back to you. Okay? Keep the microphone with you. Anybody else has any questions?
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, brother.
Yes.
You mentioned before that you traveled a lot, see Muslims living in many different countries. When you think about the future, if you were to choose to live in one place and raise your children as good Muslims, what places do you think are going to get you right? And then where is you working?
There is no place that qualifies for the basic demand of a Muslim for his own kids. That's the kind of planet that we're living in right now. I am appalled by the fact that we're okay with it. I'm appalled by the fact that we as parents are okay with the fact that I cannot raise proper, definitive Muhammadi Muslims in any planet without them getting cancelled as Al-Qaeda or extremist or fundamentalist or whatnot. It could be anything. Every country has different labels to give us, right? Especially, you know what? Especially Pakistan.
Really?
Yeah. So, no, I have not any country. So what to do? The answer is right in this problem. The solution is within the problem. That we don't need a country. You understand? I'm not Theodor Herzl. You're not the Jews. This is not Poland. And this certainly is not 1836. We are in 2025. This is England. We are Muslims. And I'm not Theodor Herzl. My name is Sahil Adeem. I can only talk common sense. That the demand is, wherever there's more equity, there has to be more performance. Queen Victoria put more equity here. Now we got to put more performance here. It's going to amount to that much more. You put the same kind of performance in Pakistan, it's not even going to amount to zero compared to anything in Manchester, London, Birmingham, or Milton Keynes and whatnot, and Yorkshire. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that, right? 200 people combined together in Islamabad doing the same thing are not going to be able to amount to 1 year of your performance. That's not something you earned. Victoria earned it. You just got the gift by just being born in Yorkshire. By the way, that's the reason why your folks migrated here. The political equity. So if you want to create that sort of a planet, you got to start with places like these. Obviously, this is not your number one contender. Right now, America is and Europe is, but and a lot of countries in Europe are doing amazing. Spain is doing amazing. You know what I'm saying? Scandinavia is top of the chain right now. Even America is not. Norway's way up there. Finland, Denmark. People are performing.
What are those places like for Muslims?
They're the farthest from the demands of a Muslim parent. But they are as close to what I can tell you, because egalitarianism is at least giving as many rights as possible to a single individual to practice whatever he can, right? However, as a philosophy, no, they would never, ever, ever. Don't go too far. 2 months ago, Swedish Prime Minister had the guts to blatantly criticize anything to do with Islam. So as a philosophy, no, cannot, sorry. So there is none. The closest possible anything that could have come to Islamic requirement for a parent was Scandinavia, and look what they did. You know? They're going to do a lot more because it's a battle of philosophies. You need to come up with little girls and boys who are going to start to write books. That's how philosophy is going to change. Okay, it's the Russians and the Europeans who began the age of philosophy. Dostoevsky and Immanuel Kant, Descartes and Hume, you know, Thomas Hobbes, right here.
What do you think about Saudi and UAE and these countries these days?
I think about, this is what I think about. Resources, low self-esteem. This is MBS right here. Don't even get me started with MBZ. That dude, I mean, if you have to raise a real Muslim child from primary to 5th grade, I think Abu Dhabi is the best place in the planet. But if you want to make a Muslim, you got to get him out of there as soon as possible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the kind of problem that we are actually facing right now. So, kya kare? Well, moral capital from the Quran. From the Quran, not from the current day Islam. It is the current Muslim cleric in England and in America who's literally, blatantly saying that there's certain ayahs in the Quran that are not for all Muslims, they're just for the Prophet. Imagine that. So moral from the Quran, financial from wherever it matters most, political from Western Europe, okay, political capital, and IQ from the Quran, which means the way Quran looks at physics, and the way Quran looks at mathematics, the way Quran looks at the whole universe. Current physics is the cosmic microwave background. That's the extent of the current day physics. At one point in time, they say that that is the end and the outer rim of the universe. And then they have the guts to say that it's expanding. What is it expanding into? If it is the outermost edge, how the hell is it expanding? That means there's space other than the cosmic microwave background. Imagine. But we know that this is just the first heaven. There's 6 more. So, IQ from the Quran. Morality from the Quran. Politics and money. وَأَعِدُّ لَهُمْ مَسْتَطَعْتُم مِّن قُوَّةٍ. Muster up whatever you can. Otherwise, someone with resources is going to overpower you. You will put yourself naturally underneath. And that's what we do every day, by the way. I'll give you a little experiment to do. Go to any parking lot. Go to this parking lot. You're going to see the cars standing outside. And girls, I don't know whether you know it or not in England, but boy, you know. What car is worth how much pounds? And what it represents. And how many boys make a cluster around the Rolls Royces and the Bentleys and the Lamborghinis and the Ferraris. You know what that represents? That represents your vacuums. That's called the gap in the vacuum. You go to this parking lot. You want to see your own internal vacuums from childhood? Take a walk. You'll find out. You want to see the girls' vacuums? Take a longer walk. After the parking lot comes the street and the side of the house. The girl's going to manifest her deepest childhood vacuums. You don't need me to show you what self-esteem is. The street is going to show you. This parking lot is going to show you what self-esteem is. I'm not telling you anything new. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. So, if a Bentley can intimidate you, then I'm sorry. You're not even ready for Buddhism, let alone Islam. Okay?
Thank you.
We need to raise our kids who are oblivious to cars and houses and money and homes. One time the Sahabi who walks into, by the way, the biggest power of the planet at that time, who had just defeated Roma, the Persians. And this Sahabi who didn't even have, proper shoes on his feet because his shoes were broken and he was carrying a spear. And he walks up to the king of Persia because the army had sent him. Umar ibn Khattab's army had sent him. So the prime minister of that king comes to the Sahabi and he says, "What are you doing, man? What are you wearing? And do you know the price of the carpet you're walking on right now? And you're poking holes with your spear? Do you even know what you're doing? Where you come from?" Every home office question. Where did you come from, man? And what are you dressed up like? And the Sahabi looks at him and is like, "Who are you?" And he said, "I am the prime minister to my own God." And he said, You have a God? Your God is the prime minister? He said, "Yes, you're about to meet our God. You make sure you prepare to meet our God, because you're not dressed to meet my God. You're not carrying the right gifts for my God. You don't look the way you're ready for my God." So this Sahabi, this companion of the Prophet ﷺ says, looks at him and says, "Tell you what, buddy, I have a message. Tell your God that I came from his God. So make sure you tell him that. I'm waiting right here on your $1 million carpet, poking holes in my $2 spear." So this prime minister went, because this is the first time his God was addressed like this. And he said, "Are you the general of the army?" He said, "General of the army? To call your God whatever he is, it doesn't require a general of the army. It just requires common sense." And what? We all know that. But in Pakistan, you can't even meet the prime minister, man. You cannot. And somehow, if you end up meeting him, you will be made to stand so far that you can't talk to him properly. There are going to be so many guards and glitters and chandeliers and armed personnel to intimidate you so that you cannot say anything unless you come from a rank higher than him. That's Pakistan right there for you. Our top Muslim scholars go to the prime ministers and the chief of the army staff, and you know how they stand like? We all know how we stand like this. We stand like this in front of who? Our God. You want to see? Google it up right now. Google up the ulama convention in front of the chief of army staff. Google up, you'll find out how these ulama are standing in front of the chief. That's what happens when a low self-esteem guy gets knowledge. They read the Quran, they read the Seerah, the Hadith, nothing gets in them because their mommies and daddies are not prepared. These scholars. And that army chief who did not do more than FSC, the 12th grade. That's it. That's his education. All he did was map reading, shooting guns, and that's not even something that they're good at as well. And this guy gets a lot more pedestal to stand on in front of this guy. who spent 50, 60, 70 years in the books. Just because what? He's got a gun. So you need to understand what Islam requires. Islam requires power. I need your kids in your own living rooms or in their own cars, writing on laptops, just pushing keys on laptops, writing foreign policies, changing these chiefs and these little gods by their fingers. That's what's actually going on right now. Somebody writes an email and our chief of army staff, our prime minister, our president gets changed like this. That's the power human beings can have. By how? Hannah? By becoming competent. That's it. Could be mathematics, could be physics, could be political science, could be chemistry, biology, could be anything. And your laptop is going to keep changing governments. That's the real power. Yeah. Yeah, please.
Yes, Sahil Adeem, I would to ask in your previous talks, you talk about grabbing the power. So I heard a lot of people that they have felt choose and we are prepared to do that, but how should we do that?
Well, first of all, I never say grab the power.
Okay.
That means something. That means something. That's a different strategy. That's not my strategy. I want my kids to develop into powerful people. Grabbing a power would mean go and grab the power. It's a strategy. That's not my strategy. My strategy is simple. You make a lot of money, you're not grabbing power, you're developing power. You make a lot of politics, you make a lot of science, you make a lot of knowledge. You make a lot of credibility, power is with you. But ये सारा कुछ जीरो हो जाएगा, सब कुछ जीरो है अगर आपकी आइडेंटिटी बनाई नहीं गई, अगर आपको बचपन से नहीं तैयार किया गया. दिस इज योर करंट इस्लाम. नमाज, रोजा, ज़कात, हज, ईद की नमाज, जुम्मे की नमाज, शलवार कमीज. दिस इज करंट इस्लाम. कलमा, नमाज, रोजा, ज़कात, हज. नफ्सी 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 नफ्सी. तज़किया नफ्स 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 नफ्स. शिया, सुन्नी, बरेलवी, देवबंदी. That's it. अल्लाह की कसम पाकिस्तान में इतने फिरके और इतने गटर नहीं खुले हुए फिरकों के जितने इंग्लैंड में खोल लिए हैं आप लोगों ने. मैं हैरान हूँ. पाकिस्तान से जो इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट का बिजनेस है आप लोगों ने ये इंपोर्ट किया है. उधर तो मौलवियों की औकाफ की मिनिस्ट्री और मिनिस्टर पीछे मॉब है उधर. आप लोगों के सामने इन्होंने कैसे बदमाशी कर दी है. ये लोकल मौलवी मस्जिद खतीब ने आप लोगों को कैसे ओवर पावर किया है. आप लोग क्या कर रहे थे उस वक्त. आप पता चला किधर जंजीर बांधी हुई आपके दिमागों के अंदर खींच रहे थे एकदम. मस्जिद खतीब जो कि रोड क्रॉस करने से पहले गॉड सेव द किंग, गॉड सेव द किंग कर रहा होता अंदर से. आपको पता है इंग्लैंड में आपको कैसे इसने ओवर पावर किया है. पाकिस्तान में मुझे पता है कैसे ओवर पावर किया था आपके दादा हुजूर को लोकल मस्जिद के मौलवी ने. इंग्लैंड में कैसे उसने किया कि आप देवबंदी हैं नहीं तो आप काफर हैं, आप बरेलवी नहीं तो आप काफर हैं. ये आपके बर्मिंघम में कैसे हुआ है, लंदन में कैसे हुआ है. ये आप खुद कर रहे हैं. आपकी एस्टीम इतनी नीचे जा चुकी हुई है कि वो बंदा जो लिटरली एक जुमला पूरा कोहेरेंटली अदा नहीं कर सकता वो आपके सामने खड़ा होकर कह रहा हो भाई निकल इधर से. वो अपने बाप की जागीर समझ रहा मस्जिद को. मस्जिद इज नोबडीज प्रॉपर्टी. You're the one who's paying his salary. You're the one who's paying for the actual property cost of that masjid. And he is over you. Yeah, this is the superstitious Islam that you guys are brewing in your hearts.
The
चीज कैसे आता है?
आप मस्जिद में घुस जाए, बात क्यों जा गया? कोई निकाल सकता है आपको? उसने कोई दोबारा ये बरेलवी के लफ्ज़ इधर बोलेगा तो तुझे इंग्लिश रिपोर्ट करवा दूंगा। तू किधर बैठा हुआ है? मियाँ वाली है, पत्तों की है ये। आपका इस्लाम क्लियर है ना? आप तो बरेलवी देवबंदी नहीं खेलते ना, तो बाकी का काम किंग चार्ल्स कर लेगा, टेंशन न लें। आपको यहां पे वो बदमाशी कैसे कर रहा है? मुझे आपकी एस्टीम के ऊपर शक नहीं, यकीन हो गया है कि कुछ तो हया होती है। हाउ आर यू करिंग? मतलब चीफ ऑफ आर्मी स्टाफ बुली करे बनता है, नवाज शरीफ बदमाशी करे बनता है, इमरान खान ब्लैकमेल करे समझ आती है। बरेलवी देवबंदी गेम में फंसे हैं आप लोग। दैट मीन्स आपसे जीरो तक तवक्कुआत रखनी चाहिए कि भाई आपसे तो ये नहीं हैंडल होते, मुफ्त की बिल्डिंग नहीं हैंडल होती आपसे, करोड़ों के बकिंगम पैलेस हैंडल कैसे कराऊंगा आपसे? करोड़ों नहीं हो तो अरबों के हैं बकिंगम पैलेस। दिस वॉज योर ओन इनेट राइट। ये क्वेश्चन होमवर्क के तौर पे लेके जाएं आप लोग कि आप पत्तों की में से अभी तक बाहर नहीं आ सके। आपको क्यों ना गोरा और काला इधर का डिमीन करे? अभी तक आपसे ये हैंडल नहीं हुआ। अपनी लोकल, अपनी बिलीफ के, अपने मजहब की मस्जिद हैंडल नहीं हुई।
Hello. Thank you for the insightful talk and the explanations around it. I have learned the conclusion that is self-esteem fueled by identity or identity is fueled by self-esteem. Ideally, it should be self-esteem should come from the identity. If that's the case,
it's not.
Okay. If that's
it's not.
If that's not the case, so how do you define self-esteem? How to build self-esteem? What should be the foundation for it? Because identity has a central part as a whole idea. Therefore, we get
No, identity is has a lot more than morality. So you see this child, this boy, if he's 12, he has to generate some identity. I put you, that infant is about 6 months old, less than that, I don't know, how old is it? 2 months old. That 2 months infant, what's his name? Okay. Zed. 5 weeks old, Zed. Do you think Zed had an identity yet?
He has.
No, he doesn't.
It's really cute.
I'll tell you what that identity is. I'll tell you what that is. It's a human child. It's a human child. We call it an infant. Infant means he can't even eat without somebody putting the food in his mouth. Okay? That's his identity. I swear to God, that's literally the psychological expression. The infant. That he is so weak, he can't even lift his own head. That is his identity. But when he is 12, he does not have just his muscular strength to straighten his neck, put food in his mouth, go to the bathroom, but also to do the right thing.
How does he know actually what is the right thing?
It's called the prefrontal cortex. It is developed in the 12th year of a human. Zed is going to develop that by the 12th year. Before that, he's going to pass 3 different stages. First stage is infancy. Actually, first stage is prenatal. But whatever, after he came out of the mother's womb, first stage, infancy. Second stage, toddler. Third stage, child. Fourth stage, adolescence. Right there, right in front of you. Fifth stage, adult. Now, I'm calling you by names of identity, but we all know adult would mean that this boy is supposed to take over every single requirement of the strongest species Allah has given us here. How do I know it's the strongest? Well, Allah says in the Quran that most of the species that are made, most, not all, but most, I've given you power over them. Oh, Bani Adam. Okay?
Thank you so much. So can you just summarize in
Well,
identity comprises of?
identity is a stage of competence that you're in, stage of power that you're in, stage of capability that you're in. That's your identity. But the requirements come from consciousness. That's the morality. Quran gives you that. You know what? You don't have to go through everything. We'll give it to you right there. Handwritten by the maker. Go through it, you'll find out what the requirement of Isaiah is when he's going to be 22. That's the requirement. By the way, same requirement when he's to 12. Starts from 12, right? So, once you know that Quran is backing you up, then you tell your own son and your daughter, if you have, you're married with kids, so you get your kids to be trained that, you know what, I don't want you to aim for the life of 2,000 years. You're not Adam. I do not want you to aim for a life of Noah of 950 plus years. I want you to aim for the best possible death a human being of Homo sapien species can die. Because you are going to die. But I need you to get the finest death possible plan. And that can only happen if you're working towards 7 billion people's welfare. Nothing less. And you're doing it from the Quran, nothing else. And you're doing it with the methodology of the Prophet ﷺ, nobody else. So you die tomorrow, awesome. You die 200 years later, doesn't matter. That's when boys and girls generate confidence to stand in front of King Charles or whatnot. That, I don't think you're doing the right thing, sir. If you're not going to stop, then I'll have to do something for it or about it. And once you're going to say that, I'll tell you this right now. 250 million Pakistanis are going to come right under him. Because everyone's looking for this sort of a Muslim. That's it. That's why I said to Khidr, if you cannot change your own school system while you're a school student, then you're not ready to change England while you're a citizen of England. You got to start right now. If you didn't start in school, then you got to start right now. You're still young, you're still in power. Actually, you're not going to get more powerful Khidr than you are right now. After that, it's downhill. Okay? So, how are you going to do that? This is how you can do that. Mommies and daddies. Instead of personal belief and individual focus, you go into global and public. So Hannah's and Isaiah's would be trained of what is public policy, how you change it. And Hannah, you write articles and journals and books, you change the public policy. You know what public policy has, Hannah? Right now, you don't know what a public policy is. Right now, you do not know how to create global change. In less than 4 years, not only that you'll know, but you'll be able to do it as well. I don't know if you're gonna, but you will be able to. Okay? So, public policy, global change. If you can do that, you are a politician. That's it. That's political capital. This blue downward is the current definition of Islam. We are high on this, zero on this. That's why I said, अब मैं उर्दू में बताता हूँ कि आप ऑक्सफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी में जाते हैं, पॉलिटिकल पावर, पूरी दुनिया के पावर को चलाना चेंज करने के लिए पॉलिटिकल साइंस पढ़ते हैं और जुमे की नमाज में आते हैं और बरेलवियों का और देवबंदियों के और भाभियों के और शियों के लेक्चर सुनने कहते हैं बाकी सारे काफिर हैं. जरा सोचें आप, ये मेरे पे क्या कोई गलती होगी कि एक तरफ पूरी दुनिया की पॉलिटिक्स चेंज करने के लिए ऑक्सफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी जाते हो, and then you come back from Oxford, and then all of a sudden you become the lowest possible creature in the weakest possible state. This is what the current Islam is doing to you. It is stripping you out of your power. So if you cannot conquer your local masjid in London, please do not talk about big things like self-esteem, confidence, empowerment, global change, public policy. Sorry, you're not qualified. राज की बात बता दूं आपको. You look this guy straight in the eyes and then you ask him, you want to do the next Friday sermon in this masjid? Then you got to straighten your act. He's going to be on your firqa. whatever your firqa is. उसकी इतनी जीरो एस्टीम है, उससे कोई सीधे मुंह से बात कर ले और रो पड़ेगा। ज्यादातर तो वैसे ही इलीगल बैठे हुए इधर। Group transformation. Group transformation. Hannah, you're not making a cluster? Sorry, you're your own worst enemy. Okay, you are a unit of a very big community. Make sure you have a lot of people who think like you, and they know you from your work. Okay, make friends based on philosophies. Make friends based on the competence. You are the average of your 5 best friends. Make sure you understand your IQ is going to be the average IQ of the 5 people you hang out with. So understand what cluster means, what jama'ah means, what halaqah means. This is why I need Muslims to gather together. Our kids can meet. Our kids can meet, they can know each other, they can see who's doing what, and share resources, share knowledge, share skill, share opportunities. By the way, it doesn't take just Islamic knowledge. Even non-Muslims know the value of coming together, sharing resources. What our community has risen to the top, that's how they did it. No single individual is worth a dime, no matter what kind of IQ you have, no matter what kind of charisma you have. Unless you have a community backing you up, you're a nobody. Actually, you could be a very big problem if you're too smart and you're playing solo for the rest of the group. So this is something I want you guys to focus on. Flip these arrows, okay? This is already what they're giving you. You just need to give these to them and your kids. In the name of the Quran, the Rasul, the Seerah and the Sunnah, and most of all, the Akhirah. If you're not going to do this, I'm telling you this right now. This is not going to cut it. This is not going to cut it in the day of judgment. नमाज़ें मुंह पे मारनी है अल्लाह ने. अल्लाह ताला ने एक खास कौम के बारे में कहा है कि मैंने इनकी तरफ देखना भी नहीं है. You know that, right? I'm going to say that in English on the camera. There is a certain community which Allah Azza wa Jal said that even on the day of judgment, everyone is going to go through what's it called? Well, the least anyone is going to go, even if there are people of hell, they're going to get to see the whole examination. They're going to go through the process, except that one community, which the angel is going to come and say, you are not even worthy that you will be put to this sort of process. Allah does not even want to look at you. Do you know what they did? Do you know the qualification of those people? Those are the people who knew what is right and who knew what is wrong, but they chose to be just spectators. Remind you of anybody? There was my teacher. When I told him about that, he said, these people will be so worthless that pedestal of the day of judgment where every human being will be there, that pedestal, it does not suit that such a worthless community would come here, because this is not a game show where spectators are allowed. This is where agents and players who played something, good or bad, are brought to justice. By the way, ke saath kya hona hai? You know what's going to happen to those people? They will be given a shortcut to hell. No tests, no rewards, no deeds, no nothing. No, you don't need anything. Allah is not talking to you. You're nobodies. That's your path. Go left. Now, I don't know about you or me, but I don't want your kids and my kids to go through that just because I'm incompetent, So, agents. We need agents of change. How are they going to come? Well, they've already, kids who are about 15 to 20, they've already started to come inside the zone where they're performing. Imagine Bangladesh, imagine Pakistan, imagine India and Afghanistan, Iran and imagine countries like these, Muslims there. Imagine कि वहाँ पे वो वाला spark here. There are people, kids of that age, this generation, who only through social awareness, which Asma, you did not want the kids to go to cell phones. They came into activism and they started challenging the big powers, no matter whether they were successful or not, doesn't matter. University campuses of Harvard and Columbia. In America, Harvard and Columbia, Stanford. Kids, undergrads, chose to go to jail for what? For Palestine. Muslims? No, non-Muslims. We'd rather be in jail. A lot of Jews went to jail. Hannah? A lot of Jews in college thrown into jail and they would gladly go to jail. Why? Because of the awareness and the innate sense of justice. That's something which your kids, our kids, can easily achieve. Easily. Which we couldn't possibly even fathom, can't even think about. So, immigrant ka bachcha ye nahi kar sakta. Immigrant's child cannot do that, I'm telling you. You know why? Immigrants instill fear inside their own kids with his or God, but he's not going to give it to his son naturally. That's a natural order. His son is going to be naturally powerful and courageous. Because he's not making him afraid that you're not from here, man. You brown little man, you're not from here. No, he's never going to say that. Because he never gets to hear it. He was just a little genie that somebody concocted after their own figment of their own imagination, Even if you get that, I was in a city, I'm not going to tell you where, well, it was in Scotland. And my next door neighbor, as white as they come, okay? This husband and wife, I was standing, that's my first day in Scotland, and there's this little line between the two driveways. And I just opened the door of my own car, just to sit in my car, and this guy comes in, neighbor. He says, you know what, I'm your neighbor. And I'm like, oh, and I'm a Muslim, and I'm from Pakistan, and I've lived in Canada, America. Neighbor means love, right? Neighbor means warmth and grace and mercy. And this guy, like, I'm your neighbor. I did not know how to do Scottish accent, so try and bear with me. So I'm like, well, yeah, and I open my arms. Naturally, right? I mean, that's what we do. You're my neighbor, oh, hey. And this guy is like, with his finger, pushing my chest back. With his finger, he's like, dude, that's trespassing here, okay? That's trespassing. Your car's door cannot open to my own driveway. And I said, what? The edge of the door cannot cross your line of the property? But he did not say it because I was brown. First mental response, I said, yeah, okay. Is it okay that I look towards your property and I breathe towards it? Is that okay in Scotland? And he said, oh, you're loitering up to me. You're loitering up to me. And I said, no, I'm not loitering up to you. I'm doctoring up to you, buddy, because that's a disease. You better not get married. If you are married, do not have kids. That's all I can tell you. And that's the line I'm going to draw from here on. Okay? And obviously he was married with kids. Something to think about, right? पता नहीं क्यों कहानी सुनाई है? You know why I told this story? Any other guy, and I'm telling you, even my own father, because he was an immigrant, right? He would have been like, it's a brown versus white story. No, it's not a brown versus white story. It's a psycho versus normal story. It's nothing to do with color. We create our own little, conclusions out of these little things. By the way, I was told by an Englishman in England, inside a church in Bradford, to get out of his country. That's what I'm telling you. And I asked him, do you own the property I'm standing on? Because if you don't own it, even King Charles does not own England, buddy. Let alone a guy with your stature. Because if I'm on your property, you can tell me to move as many yards as you own in England, but you do not own England. Nobody owns nothing except for the property that they paid for. Other than that, I have my own liberty. I have my own liberty. You know how I got this? I got this through reading their books, their constitutions. That's what you got to give these little kids. Yes? Walaikum salam.
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि इंटरनेशनल स्टूडेंट अभी हम यहाँ पे फर्स्ट जनरेशन है तो वो सारे
No, you're not, sorry. You're not. आप student हैं.
So the student.
You're not an immigrant.
तो वो सारे identity crisis already हमें मौजूदा इस्लामिक में है. तो if we plan to stay in this country, तो by time अगर हमारे बच्चे होते हैं तो वो already company second generation है जिससे उनमें
आपके बच्चे अलाउ हैं इधर? Are you allowed to have babies if you're a student?
No, longer they said it go on. Like,
oh, yeah.
So if they are British born, तो उनमें भी और ज़्यादा प्राइसेस होंगे जिसमें आपने कहा कि सेकेंड जनरेशन में और ज़्यादा प्राइसेस होंगे क्योंकि मैंने अपनी आइडेंटिटी अभी क्लियर नहीं की तो हाउ कैन वी कम अप विद दैट कि बच्चे जो उनसे हैं वो प्राइसेस फेस ना करेंगे और थर्ड जनरेशन जो है ताकि उनको वो ड्यूटी प्राइसिंग ना हो जब उनको
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आप ना जब तक आप अपने आप को यहाँ पे एलियन समझ रहे हैं ना और वो वाला एलियन जो कि इनके मरहूने मिन्नत है तो फिर आप इधर शादी नहीं करें. It is that simple. You're not ready for marriage of any kind. A woman being is not supposed to be dependent on you. मगर अगर आप कॉन्फिडेंस में हैं तो आप 4 शादियां करें बेशक. समझ रहे हैं? By the way, it's not just my opinion, you know. Yeah. Abu Hanifa ka fatwa. There's a fatwa of Abu Hanifa that a Muslim man cannot get married to a non-Muslim, which is Christian or Jews, unless Muslims are dominating that land where that girl, which is Christian or a Jew, is living. You know what? Because in the dominated Muslim land, every individual will have a higher self-esteem. But if it's in England, it's not a Muslim dominated land. So the girl who's not a Muslim will naturally have a higher esteem because she is a local there. So she's going to dictate the religious philosophy subconsciously, if not consciously, to the kids. So Abu Hanifa said, yeah, you can marry a non-Muslim, which means you can marry a Jewish girl or a Christian girl if your philosophy is already doing your esteem work for you. But if it's not, then you're not allowed to marry a Christian or a Jewish girl. You know what I'm saying? By the way, a lot of Muslims which are reverted from whatever religion and they become Muslims, they're not even given the real definition of Islam. They come in for as a franchise of Buddhism. That yeah, I'll be a spiritually correct sadhu. They're not going to raise Muslim, powerful Muslim boys and girls. They're going to raise as best case scenario Dalai Lamas. Because we have corrupted definition of Islam and Islam became the fastest growing religion. So everybody came inside the corrupted definition of Islam. So everyone is like, this little placebo, do no harm, see no harm feel no harm, sort of a, Gandhi. Okay? G. Anything else? Anybody? Okay. Well, thank you so much, guys. I have to applaud you for your patience and commend you on your temperament.
Can I ask something?
Yes, of course, you already have. The answer is yes.
Thank you very much, sir. As I had the question earlier, you've met my concept of that key. Now I have another question. In one of your program, I listened to talk about the intergalactic journeys are possible. In regard to that.
In regards to what? I'm sorry, I can't get your accent. I'm sorry, you're too English for me.
Sorry?
आप दोबारा से ज़रा ऊंचा बोले. Regards to what?
That's natural. Yes, I just want to ask, in regard to the intergalactic journeys, can you recommend some books so I can get my kids to read and for myself as well?
Intergalactic journeys of who?
Yeah.
Of who? You want to talk about intergalactic journeys of human beings? Then read the Bible. The Bible, written by God, Bible.
Right, but the true form of the Bible, I think this is available. Can go to churches of the Catholic.
No, hold on. You're talking about intergalactic journeys of human beings. You're not talking about faiths and principles and whatever, right? No. Yeah, well then it's true, don't worry. The Bible. Why would they corrupt this part of the Bible? It has nothing to do with anybody's faith. So go to the book of, go to the Ethiopian Bible as well. Go through the current King James Version as well. Okay, and you're going to find a lot more in the Ethiopian version of the Bible. A lot more. Okay, but you said intergalactic journeys of human beings. Okay, after that comes the Quran. The Quran writes about this. Okay, because physics or science does not talk about intergalactic journeys of human beings. It talks about the theory of any kind of journey to happen. But the Bible puts Adam alayhi salam, puts Ilyas alayhi salam, puts Zachariah, puts Jesus, puts no, Bible doesn't. Quran does. Bible puts Enoch, Idris alayhi salam. Bible puts Ilyas alayhi salam. Bible puts everybody, and even Jacob. So, and Ibrahim, and Noah. Bible takes a lot of people into intergalactic journeys. Quran only takes up Noah, Adam, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Isa ibn Maryam, Musa alayhi salam, Idris alayhi salam, and Quran takes Harun and Yahya. Quran takes one more I'm forgetting. Ibrahim alayhi salam, yes. So Quran takes all of these into intergalactic journeys. So that's not science, that's the Quran. You said human beings. Otherwise, you want to teach your kids, tell them, go into physics and they'll understand the concepts. Okay?
You know, like in this Islamic point, we're going to give a book reference.
Bukhari, Sahih al-Bukhari. Okay, Sahih al-Muslim. There's very small books. You go to them. There'll be hadith that's going to blow the mind off of your kids. They're like, oh my God, why was this not told to us? In simple words. In simple words. You know, the Sahabas and the Prophet were talking about the intergalactic journey. Okay? By the way, we were not even Muslims. We don't believe in the intergalactic journey. Because our Prophet went to the intergalactic journey. Oh, thanks, I have the cup of tea, thanks. I said, I think we're done here. Anybody else has any question before? Otherwise, we'll just call it a day, call it a night actually. And Mohsin, you need anything? Okay, we're good. Marine? Yeah, we're good? Guys, Jazakallah khair for coming. And may Allah give you the easiest Ramadan from here on. And we are about to go online with IMS UK to different cities over and over again. We in London more. We can do this sort of event a lot more times in Ramadan and afterwards. But keep an eye out on IMS UK's initiatives, because we are a small group right now, just like Dar Arqam was, just like Ashab Sufa were, just like Bait Uqba were. It starts from a small group. And I remember the first day I actually went into public speaking for Islam, I had 12 people, and I don't even know where they came from. I remember 2, and after the session, I asked them, who are these guys, man? Why are they listening to this meeting? And they're like, are you complaining? And I said, I'm not complaining. I don't want to expect something, because I expected 0. But why are they coming? So my friend said, they're just, people who just come around, man. It was called Clubhouse, okay? You know what Clubhouse is? Okay, so I started with Clubhouse. So 2 weeks later, there were 42. 1 year later, we had to stop people from coming into our Zoom meeting. It was, Zoom does not allow more than 1,000 people per room. So is that how it starts? Only if you're persistent, and only if you are not relying on your own capability and skill, if you're relying only on Allah Azza wa Jal, and because there are a lot of people with million times more capability that they're going to achieve nothing. People with no capabilities, they're going to achieve a lot. They are going to achieve a lot. It's whatever Allah has planned for you. So IMS UK is something which or IMS UK, I don't know why I call it IMS UK. You guys are just IMS. Everybody's IMS. Okay? But why I'm saying IMS UK, because homeschooling UK is a product. Homeschooling is a certain way of measuring the human child's progress. We call it the conscious meter. Conscious meter is when you are going to be given an app on a website and in your cell phone where you will be rating, putting numbers of what time did your boy or girl wake up, what did he do, what did he eat, and we're going to give you a lot more data. And throughout the day, the mommies and the daddies will all be doing but plotting data about and do nothing else. We will be handling the rest of the things for the child in terms of his spiritual, physical, mental growths for his mind, body, and soul separately. And we'll be giving you those graphs, and we'll be training you first for the first 2 months. Only your mommy will be trained of how to use all of this product. And if you decide to go against the system, what kind of strengths you need for these boys and girls. Because we are going to be measuring psychologically the profile, the IQ, the EQ, his personality assessment. Let me show you before we go. Right there. So we are going to go through all of this about your child. You will have all of this data about your child on everyday basis of how is the personality changing and why they're changing. What's the benefit and what's what to do about this. And unless you know, and unless parents are trained on all of this, you will not be able to do this. This is the data. You'll just be pressing buttons. You're not writing anything. And once you have, this is your conscious meter, okay? This is not the conscious meter, but it's going to look like this. And this is the kind of plots you're going to be getting every single report, which is going to be either daily or weekly or monthly about your child, so that you can know where is the risk now, what kind of risk I am in as a mother and as a child, what kind of risk and why. And our counselors will be connecting right away because there's an alarm, obviously, if he's in a little bit of risk. Your teachers of STEM courses will be giving data, your sports coaches will be giving data for your child, and your mommies and daddies will be giving data. And his peers will be giving data. So we are trying to raise the IQ through this model. This is our own model. And this is our curriculum for your homeschooling. And we've already plotted it. We have a few, because we are running in source code our program right away as we speak. So we know what happens in what kind of brain stage. So we know it starts with the language stage. We know it starts right after the language to algorithm stage. After the algorithm comes the application of algorithm, which is from mathematics to physics and chemistry. This is the base. Biology is the base of social sciences. So by age 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 here, and by 11, 12, we overlap all of this and this. While we know where we are at right now inside the Quran and the Seerah. So this is your basic curriculum for your IQ building in homeschooling. This is a, yes. Let me just finish this slide. I'll come to you. So we know how these subjects are designed over our brain. The schools don't do that, obviously. The schools are not designed to think like this. Plus, more of the schools don't even know about this. So you know what a human child goes through. First, he goes through languages. Every child went through this. Then he goes through mathematics. Every child went through this. Then he goes through astronomy and physics. And then if you keep pushing him, he's going to go through this track. By 13th, 14th, 15th, he is naturally going to go into this, which, by the way, Hannah, is your age. You're naturally in this state right now, okay? You went through all of this, even though you didn't go through this one by one. You went through this all at once. That's why you do not know all of anything, maybe some of all of it, okay? If you were given just mathematics for 5 years, when you were 7, okay? And by the time you were 9, physics and mathematics. By the time you were 10, mathematics, physics, and chemistry. So the first 2 years only mathematics. First 3 years mathematics and physics. First 4 years mathematics and chemistry. That's how you would have mastered mathematics. You should have been writing equations of mathematics. You understand me? Let me give you an example. The additive primes, which are now a discovery of mathematics, the additive primes. The Quran, you know what an additive prime is? Additive prime? When you add 2 prime and it still remains a prime number, it's called an additive prime. Okay? That's, you know what a prime number is, Hannah? Don't scare me. Say yes? Okay. So, the additive primes are plotted on a table, right? And you know what that table? That table is the same table the Quran uses. Okay? The Quran was written 1400 years ago. They came up with the additive prime right now, in 1983. This is why I'm telling you that Quran, you should look at the Quran differently, okay? So we have a totally different curriculum. Why I need mathematics is so that our kids can discover Quran differently. Okay, this 5 years of mathematics that we've discovered, the curriculum that we have, we're publishing it on our website. Download it for free. Get your teachers to train your kids on that. It's free. This curriculum, we only charge for the teacher's payroll so the kids can get connected to the teacher. So, you know what this curriculum does? It puts you on a PhD level of mathematics in 5 years. So by the age 12, you should have done PhD of the standard at which PhD is done right now. That's what the human brain is ready for. And if you give him mathematics, when he's ready for it. Because by the time you learn how to speak Urdu or English, if you learn how to speak Spanish right now, you are going to take 5 years. And you're not going to be at the level at which you are at in English, even though nobody taught you English when you were little. You just listened and learned. Nobody gave me with a book of grammar and parts of speech. No, you learned English on your own. The brain did it for you. You know what I'm saying? This little Zad is going to learn English without even a book or a teacher. He's going to look around and become eloquent. That's what human brain does. So once we know what human brain does, we know what to do with it. Because we didn't make the brain, we just studied it. Allah made it, right? So, combine that with this, and then we have Oh, I don't have time for this. This is too much, eh? क्या ख्याल डॉक्टर साहब? Which? Oh yeah. So I think we're done with. I didn't go into this topic because we didn't have enough time. But raise your daughters differently than what you do to raise your sons. If you have some of each. Okay. Who was asking me with the LGBT question? Somebody asked me the LGBT question. Oh yes, please. No. Somebody asked me there. I told them to go and ask me outside. Yeah. Welcome, salam.
So I have a question. Growing up, we've always been told about the four imams.
Yeah.
I'd like to know what your standing is about the four imams.
Four imams.
The four imams, Abu Hanifa, Imam Shafi, and the other two.
Ali Atak Sheikh.
No. Imam. I don't know the other names.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you. No, I'll tell you, yeah. There are not four, there are many. There are many, okay?
But it's the four main ones.
What do you mean main?
So the main, well, you hear the names all the time.
Well, yeah, you hear the names.
We hear the names.
Yeah.
The Asian community grows up hearing these names.
Yeah, I get it. You mean the Desi community?
Because our parents were all Desi. So you see, it's like Imam Abu Hanifa did this, had this. Imam Shafi did this. But everyone is so different to one another. And in that in itself, I always felt.
Hold on. Let me stop you right there. What's your name?
Zora.
You heard the names. Yeah. And you also heard the fact that they're different from each other.
Yes.
You didn't get to see it yourself, or where's the difference?
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't? So that means it's hearsay. Isn't it hearsay?
It's not just hearsay. It's when in one family, you have relatives, brothers, uncles. One uncle is following Imam Shafi, the other is following Imam Abu Hanifa, and
Humble. Say it, humble. It's an English word, humble. I wanted to say name my son Humble, and my wife freaked out. She was like, what? It means something here in this country. Humble. So I said, yeah, it means something. It means it's a good word, humble, right? She didn't let me name my son Humble. So you know what I named him? I named him Shafi'i. So that's your number 4 right there, okay? So first one was Imam Malik. Then comes Abu Hanifa. Then comes Shafi'i. Then the last one is Humble. I'm just chronologically placing them on timeline, right? Okay. Now we all know that Abu Hanifa is the closest to the Prophet ﷺ in terms of timeline. So in historical terms, Abu Hanifa was born first. Okay? But Imam Malik is priority number 1 for Al-Sunnah for other reasons. But since Pakistani Indians are Hanafi, they don't know what I'm talking about. They think, whoa, Abu Hanifa is number 1, right? There's no numerical order, right? Except for their dates of birth, right? Otherwise, no one's better or worse than anybody else. Now, the curse of Muslims right now is that we think that this boy, what's his name? Mansoor? This Mansoor cannot become an imam. And you know who's going to tell him? What was your name, sir? Mansoor's father? Sharjeel is going to convince him that, whoa, blasphemy, man, blasphemy. There are only 4. They're not 4 prophets, they're just 4 human beings. Amazing human beings. You know what they are? Researchers, that's it. We are making sure that they cannot be the 5th one. Why not? Why can't they be the 5th imam? No, that's our fear. That's our low self-esteem. So this Mansoor, inshallah, should be our 5th imam. Do you know what it takes? It takes critical thinking, argument, and eloquence. That's it. On what? Quran. That's it. There is no rule that there can only be 4. Actually, that's it's a slap on our faces as Muslims. 2 billion of you couldn't produce one more. What? Well, sir, we were lowly peasants. Well, who made us lowly peasants? I want you women especially to read just as a request. If you don't want to read the Quran, no seerah, you think it's just a little lecture, especially in the camera. कुछ नहीं पढ़ना, एक दफा इमाम शाफी की अम्मी के बारे में पढ़ लें बस. आम सी औरत, कोई नबी तो नहीं है ना, नबी की बेटी तो नहीं है ना. इमाम शाफी की अम्मी वालिदा के बारे में पढ़ लें, और औरतों से कह रहा हूँ बस. अगर आपकी लाइफ ना चेंज हुई बस, तो फिर मैं इसके अलावा कुछ नहीं कर सकता. Read about the mother of Imam Shafi'i. If you have that kind of mother, you're going to have Imam Shafi'i. That's it. And you know, by the way, how old was Imam Shafi'i when his mother, single mother by the way, single mother. How old was Imam Shafi'i when he was sent to learn from Imam Malik? How old? Guess. He was sent from Palestine. Well, at that time they were living in Yemen. So from Yemen to Mecca, Medina. That's a very long journey. No airplanes at that time, okay? No cars. How old was he? He was 7. And you know, after he was 11, is Isaiah, he was 11 when Imam Shafi became what? A mufti. He was 11.
Sahil, question.
Because of this, Ji. Because of his mother, he became a mufti. ये question क्या आपका? Sorry.
It's the different, sir. Like it's different.
और आता हूँ. So अभी आप में से कोई खातून, any woman, can you send your 7-year-old to let's just say NASA's space camp for 5 years? In today's security, monitoring, CCTVs, laws and policies and whatnot kind of age, still you cannot send your 7-year-olds? Really? And that woman sends in a desert on top of a camel his 7-year-old, and guys like me have to name their sons Imam after Shafi'i in 2025. Imagine that. That's what happens when real, tall, standing, erected, esteemed bears children, and their children bear fruit for the rest of the ummah. So if you want a 5th Imam, well, God gave you 3 opportunities right there. God gave me 4 opportunities. God gave everybody opportunities. We are the one who be like, yeah, you know what? सब कुछ करना असली काम ना कर लेना. जो आखिरत वाले काम है वो ना करना. उससे पहले वाले सारे कर लेना. Yeah. जी. Yeah.
So, I have a career change. It's a well-stacked Philip sport house at the game incompetent. Do you plan to implement this to the grassroots level in India and Pakistan? Like the Badabta to the organic television pub. Do you have it implemented available for them?
Yeah, 100%. It's available for everybody. Curriculum is for free.
No, because a lot of those students, like the students, like I'm from India, a lot of those students, they don't even know this exist, right? They cannot afford any these things. They don't have basic technologies or, to start these online studies.
No, I have a few people in Pakistan, Rashkai and Lahore, in one more place. They are trying to get my source code academia physically structured so that madrasa kids and people cannot afford, they can come in and... I do not know about that in India, but someone in India wants to do that, by all means, I'm as available to Indians as I am to Pakistanis. I'm not a Pakistani first, I'm a Muslim first. It doesn't matter whether my Indian Muslims or Indian human beings are as dear to me as Pakistanis. Just because someone is a Pakistani doesn't make him closer to me. You know what I'm saying? There is no, Pakistan or India has absolutely no identity in my heart or my mind. Islam is.
So how do we get in touch with you or your team in order to participate or in any fashion in the classes or you?
Sorry, can you say that again?
So how do we get in touch with you or your team to make this available at the Dawah Center?
IMS. Contact them, they contact me. Don't worry. G. Yeah, I had a few questions. Somebody was popping up, but okay.
Go on.
Yeah.
I feel like you're going to say something quite valuable about the difference between raising a daughter and son. Could you continue on that?
Yorkshire is kind of had to be from Yorkshire, innit? Innit? Tell you what, Khidr, I'm going to give you this presentation to take home, okay? And I want you to go through, because see, this girl, human being, female of the human being, it is such a fragile, such a precious and fragile entity that Allah has created. And this boy, human males, it is such a tough, such a resilient entity that Allah has created. We cannot have two, it's like a Boeing 747 or A380 versus an F-16. You cannot have the same management team for both, right? It doesn't make sense to have the same sort of parenting model for both. So one of them is harnessing this factory of estrogen. She is full of empathy and she's full of raham and she's full of love and mercy. This woman, this species, this entity is going to change the planet and color it with, warmth and forgiveness. People are going to come to their full potential because of this model. This is a totally different spectrum. Her psychosocial spectrum is so different. If I tell you the brainwave, if I tell you how the brain works, if I tell you where these things are changing, if I tell you what part of the brain is absolutely non-existent compared to the contemporary male, you will be like, sir, we should have known this when we were in school. Forget about marriage and having kids and raising daughters and so on. No. We should have known this so that we would have treated our contemporary differently. Okay? In my emotional intelligence class, I go through an exercise of how cats, they see the world. And they see it differently. Cats have a totally different set of eyes, different works. It works differently. And once people go through how cats look at the world, it's a different color. And then how different animals look at the world. That's when I tell all the women to understand that the way you look at the world is a different planet altogether. We don't live in the same planet. Human males are in a totally different, we see a car passing by, we think different things. Something else goes through our mind. You go through a totally different thing. You look at a house, you look at a child, you look at any event. A woman is going to go through a totally different set of pictures in a movie. A man is going to go through a totally different thing. Well, we know that. And still, we treat them the way as if, because most of the machines, most of the things are made by men. Hell, even from hospital beds to blood pressure monitoring, heart rate monitoring. You know what? They're designed for men. They're not separate machines for women. But they have to go through everything that we designed for our own selves, our cars, our homes, our positions of power, our positions of failure, our little machines to big things. Everything is for men, by men. I get it. Women should have been a way bigger part of all of this and coming up with their own machines too, right? Inventions and everything. You didn't. But you need to understand, this was a different species altogether. They should have enjoyed this planet a lot more. They would have put a lot more benefit on their side of the ledger. They didn't, because they were in a man's planet. So you're going to have a daughter one day, inshallah. That's when you're going to realize, oh my God, that's a different species altogether. It's only when I had my own daughter that I found that out. Otherwise, I was not trained to think about a girl as such a precious and fragile thing, balanced to perfection. And we're making her carry the load of her husband, her father, her sons, her brothers, her mother, her sister, her daughters. She's doing stuff which is not even 1% of her duty in Islam or science. That's why most women are going through the problems they're going through. That's why she is going through issues which she can't even handle. Hence, she's not going to be a perfect mother. Perfect. She can't even be a proper mother. She was damaged when she was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 by her own mother and father. By putting her expectation and loads, which was not even her business. And by the way, our sons never get the load that they're supposed to carry, because their mommies are trying to carry their burden as well. So they become little mama boys. Biologically men, psychologically boys. Man-child disorder, I call it. And we get them married to grown men, women. Grown women are thinking they got married to a man. All of a sudden, this guy is just, still teething. Psychological. So she's nursing her husband now. She's raising her husband. So who's going to end up in the hospital? Obviously she cannot raise a husband. She can raise a little child of her own. She cannot raise a grown child of somebody else, who had the right to divorce her, by the way. That child is going to divorce her. So that kind of burden is going to create a totally different set of strengths and that kind of different kind of weakness. It's a miracle, I say, how women are still carrying on the status quo of equilibrium of these broken families, and these families are still intact. I don't know how. It takes a different kind of strength, or maybe there's a different kind of ignorance. They don't even know what I'm talking about. That's why a lot of men are getting away with it. So, testosterone, this coupled with dopamine and serotonin. Once you make that trifecta, you're going to see what I'm talking about. That's why I said, just take these slides home. There's a lot more information there. There are more than 500 slides here. It's a book. Okay? So once you get that, you're going to understand what I'm talking about. And make sure your sons are treating women the way they're supposed to be treated, rather than treating women from their perspective of whether, the woman is or all the women are for the benefit of your son. That's not why they're for. They're human beings, and they're supposed to be taken care of and protected rather than being preyed upon. You know what I'm saying? Most of the women, I'll tell you, I promise you this, किसी एक औरत से पूछ लो जो पाकिस्तान में रही हो 10 साल भी कि वो sexually harassed हुई है कि नहीं. If she spent 10 years as a child as well, she's been sexually harassed. I guarantee you that. Or England is not an exception, by the way. Either you put her in any job, in any profession, I guarantee you she's sexually harassed. Imagine a planet when you walk out Khidr and everyone starts staring at you. Imagine a planet where they want to touch you. We can't imagine that. We're men, we can't imagine that. And that's the planet that our daughters, wives, and mothers and sisters are living every day. Imagine that. It's a totally different requirement of carrying your self-esteem then, isn't it? So, what I'm saying, look at the planet, what they got. Look at the planet that we got. And imagine the guts that we have to treat them on equal grounds. Sorry, that's arrogance. That is arrogance. I know. I was sensing it. Yes.
Assalamualaikum sir. मेरा क्वेश्चन है कि रूटीन जो इंडिविजुअल फोकस और पर्सनल बिलीफ से निकलने के बाद आगे हमारी जनरेशन स्पेशली अगर कुछ करना भी चाहते हैं तो पेरेंट्स उसको अलाउ नहीं करते, रोक देते, तो एहतराम में रह के पेरेंट्स को कैसे समझाई जाए चीज़?
जैसे किसी मोहल्ले वाले को समझाई जाए चीज़। एहतराम तो आप कभी भी नहीं छोड़ सकते। यूर मुस्लिम्स, यू हैव टू बी कर्टियस।
व्हाट इफ दे डिसोन अस, वी से कि हम डिसोन कर देंगे अगर आप आगे बढ़ते हैं इससे, तो फिर
डिसोन हो ना, आप ब्लैकमेल हो नहीं, पैसों की पीछे करी थी आप, डिसोन होने में क्या? You think there is no price for righteousness? Well, no, I'm sorry. The only thing that's going to cost you is righteousness. बाकी सारा कुछ फ्री मिल जाएगा, righteousness के ऊपर पक्की खाएंगे आप।
Right.
If you're not bruised, battered, or bloody, I'm sorry, you're not a Muslim activist. Okay? You're not. You could be a great Buddhist, amazing Buddhist. Okay? But you cannot be a Muslim activist. Okay, guys, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Any last question anyone has? Please write them down. You have a question? Okay, last question from the lady, please. This last one, lady. Give her a microphone, please. Just, there you go. There you go.
Thank you. Just like quickly, neurologically, what is the best way to teach? Like if you teach subjects,
Living Islam had language arts and connected to the early years.
Here.
Just on a daily.
Yeah. This is the theory. Look at this. Look at what I'm drawing here. Focus on people who are trying to teach and train kids into education. It could be any subject. Could be chemistry, biology, literature. Could be anything. Social science, natural science, could be anything. Okay. The way books are designed, they end and they start from here. That's the scope of a book. Now comes the teacher, right? So what you do is, you first of all, you come up with the application of the knowledge that you are going to teach him. You cannot visualize the application, you're not fit to teach. Okay? For example, a square plus b square plus 2ab equals a plus b whole square. That's algebra, right? Have you heard this before? Algebra, yeah. Yeah, well, this is the basis. That's the day one of algebra, right? Your son has heard it, right, Isaiah? A plus b whole square equals to a square plus b square plus 2ab. Okay? Now, if I ask anybody in this room, where do you see on this planet Earth this equation coming to life and being used? Is it used in some machine? Where is it? If you cannot put that machine in front of the child, do not teach him algebra. Okay? That's why we do not know algebra, because we couldn't see it. As soon as we're going to see it, we'll be like, oh my God, I want to do this for the rest of my life. That's the application and the use of that knowledge. So trigonometry, trigonometry is something which we whiz through in mathematics because somebody forgot to put the most important part about trigonometry, that unless we know trigonometry, we do not know how to calculate the distance between two moving bodies which are spherical in nature, inside space. So whole intergalactic thing is based on the knowledge of trigonometry. Now, once a child knows that, he is naturally going to run the equations because he was going to fall in love with them. But if you don't know how it's being applied, you cannot start the insemination of knowledge, right? So information, then communication, then application. Yeah, we only start with the application. It's called projects. It's a project-based learning, okay?
That's what I actually do you
Yeah. So, for example, mathematics. We don't call it grades and classes. We call it 60 projects. You can do any of the 32. Once you've done 32 projects, because that's the application, right? And you have to do it on either MATLAB or Python, the computer language. So the child, we train them into computer language, the Python. Because cannot do that on paper in such a short amount of time. So when he does 30 projects, he's done with the curriculum.
Parents teach such with themselves?
Yeah. No, you can hire any teacher online, don't worry. From anywhere in the world. And he's going to teach, he's going to see the projects, he's going to see the curriculum, he's going to be like, okay, I'll give you, you know what, on my website, I'll even tell you how to do that yourself. Because you cannot teach them mathematics. Unless, of course, you know mathematics. You can. I mean, anybody can teach mathematics. You have to learn mathematics first. But there are so many mathematics teachers around the world who can just be engaged to teach this curriculum to any child. Thank you.